Welcome to Comms Noise, a Star Wars Armada podcast. I'm Ben. Joining me are Ricky.
Hi.
Matt.
Hi.
Chris.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about Star Wars Armada, mainly from a tournament scene angle. We'll be talking about 400-point lists, how we do at tournaments, that kind of thing. We're based in Bristol, southwest UK. So, welcome aboard.
Ahoy. So, we're going to start off by introducing ourselves briefly and what our history is with sort of competitive gaming, how we fell into Star Wars Armada, and then I think we two of us, so Ben and Matt went to Nationals. They're going to give us a brief overview of how that was, but that was before Wave 3 and 4 hit. And then we're going to talk about a summer kit tournament that we went to at our local gaming store a couple of weeks back, and we all did well, apart from me. I had my worst ever finish.
It wasn't you.
Yeah. And I played a really great player at the end. So I'm Chris, and I've been gaming since I was about 11. So well over 20 years. And started off as most people do with GW. All the Warhammer and Epic caught my eye, and then I moved through a bit of Magic the Gathering. Played a lot of competitive War Machine in Mark II, although I don't get enough games of that in anymore to be viable at that. And then started playing Armada last year. It was awesome. Loved it. Found some cool guys. And so I think it's a really good strategic game. Good pick up and play as well. So yeah.
That's cool. Pretty similar story. Games Workshop from 10-ish. Played thousands of different board games, war games. Got really into everything I could find.
Broke most of them.
Broke the game, moved on, picked up a new one, destroyed that. And I used to play some of them really super competitively. And then I had a baby, stopped playing anything at all. I've just resurfaced from the other side of the baby dark age, and I'm into my Armada now. That's my game. It's a fantastic game.
It's all the time you get now.
I've only got time for one game, and I've chosen it's going to be Armada.
Yeah, good choice.
I'm much more relaxed. I think I played a bit of 40k when I was a young kid, but never really serious into it. I played a lot of board games over the years, but then only recently started like competitive gaming with X-Wing. Which led to Armada, and then I much preferred Armada, so I've stuck with that. And I also play a bit of Thrones and other things on the side, the LCG. But yeah, this whole competitive gaming scene is new to me, so I'm never really gutted when I lose games, just as long as I'm having fun. And I just like playing slightly janky, broken things, which don't ever really work out, but still fun.
Cool. Ricky, I didn't really play any of the wargaming stuff. I was a video gamer from a very young age, and I would just picked up Armada as a sort of a. Again, I tried X-Wing, wasn't a fan, didn't really like the whole small scale things, but the large scale battles really interested me. I got forced into a tournament and met a load of good guys, and been hooked since, just purely with Armada currently. Maybe I'll look into some other stuff. But not for now.
You've done Armada, ticked it. Too easy.
Once they had retired to X-Wing, you'll come back.
I think we need to expand. It'd be nice to try some others.
Is he?
You gave me the Rebel Transport.
Jesus, what does he do?
I can't remember. It's one of those cards you can only use in Epic games.
No one plays
no one plays any of them.
Yeah.
Right. So Ben and Matt, you went to Nationals.
Yeah, we'll probably
Me and
skim
Ricky
over
were
this.
otherwise engaged. So don't go through all your games.
Yeah, because it was only Wave 2. Like, I think Wave 3 and 4 came out the day before or the week before, but it was too late to use them. So no one wants to know the super details.
Maybe just give a very quick overview of your list or strategy that you used, and then a couple of learnings from some of your games, how you got on.
Yeah, so I had 2 assault frigates with boosted comms and ECMs, and then 2 Corvette A's, one with Ramus and Tantive, one with nothing else, 3 X-Wings, Janors, and 4 Y-Wings with Admiral Akbar. And the whole point of that list was it could do a little bit of everything. It could shoot at long range, it could do fighters, it could maneuver. So no matter what they had, I could try and find its weakness rather than go for
You've got the flexibility of Tantilles to dish tokens out.
Exactly, yeah. So I can command all the fighters with just the assault frigates long range, dish out repair tokens, all that kind of stuff. I love Tantilles; it's so good. And I did really well actually. The way it was structured, because there was 50 players, it was 5 rounds in one day, and then the top 2 players after round 5 would go into a 6th round the following day. And I won all my games up till round 5, and then I was on the top table, and I beat the guy in that round, but then he had more tournament points. I beat him 6-4, and he already had 2 points more than me.
6-5?
6-5 was the 11th.
With using the new scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I beat him 6-5, but he was already 2 points ahead. So after beating him, he still had 1 more point than I did.
Oh, no.
And so he went into the final the next day, and I came 3rd.
And he went on to win.
And he went on to win it as well. So he won the UK Nationals, but I beat him on
And
the
you
day.
won more games. You won more games in qualifying than he did as well.
So I feel like a winner.
Was that his only loss?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a free flight to Minnesota. As long as
Yeah, free holiday to America.
Well, if he's listening right now, hearing these salty tears.
But good for him.
Well,
He did really well.
But to be fair, it's something we can revisit in later shows or talk about. One of the things that makes Armada great, it isn't just a win at all cost thing. You have to scale up. So if you can't just like. So I've played other games where you sacrifice stuff and you'll throw anything in as long as you get that win.
Yeah.
All else is irrelevant. So you can sacrifice your whole army as long as you get that kill on whatever you need to win. But in Armada you can't do that. It's in Reflect. You need to go for the bigger wins, and the list design is around that. Well, anyone can nudge out 6-5 with a cheeky little Corvette, pop something, and then run in the corner. But you're not going to get anywhere with 6-5.
Well, exactly. You don't want that to be how you win, because then everyone takes non-committal lists. And you don't get a proper game.
Exactly. So
Just against the other good players who do that.
Well, no, there was no getting away from him. He had 3 gladiators with engine tanks and a fireball.
That's
so,
one of the things.
You can't not engage
He
that.
makes his list. That obviously makes his list great for tournaments. Yeah.
That's
And
a
it's
broken
hard list to play as well.
It's broken.
Not as broken as one that had Rican in it. But we'll come to that later.
He had Screed though, which was interesting. Most people with the Demolisher, MSU take
he was
Oslo.
Screed ACMs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Reed was big when in Wave 1, but Wave 2 he just disappeared completely.
He was the only guy there with Screed that I saw. Everyone else had Oslo for that.
But it just
build.
Not
guarantees that crit when you need
Nah,
it.
it's not worth Motti on the Demolisher radar.
Pointless.
The 1 extra.
1 point.
Yeah.
It's not going to save you very often.
But yeah, the interesting thing was in that final round, I was the only Rebel fleet in the top 8.
Wow.
So I guess it's just Demolisher and Reimer. Everyone just
So
thinks
good.
that's the winning
I
combo.
regret not getting
Yeah,
it.
Fireballs. So
regret
good.
that.
But yeah, I think when it finished, the guy in 4th was a Rican list.
Yeah, I didn't see the
wasn't it?
final
Yeah.
listings after that round.
I think I remember looking at the results table, and the guy in 4th beat me with the Rican list. So, so I remember that.
Maybe it was one better one against.
No, I think it was a different
I
guy.
10-0'd him.
Yeah.
He struggled to get in the top 10 after that, I think.
Played it all wrong.
Yeah, I should have taken Rican.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
Spoilers.
So what were your learnings from that? I mean, we've moved it on a bit, Ben, I guess, but
What did I
Imperials
learn?
were massively
I need,
in favour.
Imperials were big, but it's hard to take many learnings on because the scene's changed so much with waves 3 and 4. I think the big one was that fortunately it's a recurring theme for me, is I need to get bigger wins. Like I had 8s pretty much all day, but the other guy obviously had 10s all day. So,
all right, come see you in a minute.
well, that's a nice segue, isn't it? Into Matt the Dream Crusher.
Dream Crusher suck. But I guess you could also say one of the things about your list, Ben, having played it and a previous tournament, is like it's got some stuff in there that is well known, like Tantilles, a well known combo, but people aren't really expecting that level of balance.
No, well,
there's no clear weaknesses.
It wasn't a meta list. No one's net listing that.
Exactly, yeah.
So
no one's practiced against it. So.
Exactly. I think that did really well because I'd played it for 3 tournaments in a row, so I knew it really well. And everyone I played against looked at it and just didn't know what
they don't know
it
what
was going to do.
Unsettles them. They don't know how to deploy. And
exactly.
You can get easy wins against good players because they just haven't
not prepared for it. Yeah. So that's another thing. I suppose playing off meta is definitely got value.
Mm-hmm. I think we benefit a lot because so many of us play so many different lists, and we get to experience a wide range of different tactics.
Yeah. We've all got different styles, haven't we?
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt.
Not salty about specific ones.
So I think Nationals was the third tournament I've been to, because we had that spring kit and the regionals in Exeter, and I always change my list for like every event or whatever I go to.
Every new game that you play.
Usually,
You never play the same list. Never play the same list.
Always new.
If you had an option in a tournament to take a different list every game, you would.
Exactly. So I ran.
It's a brave move.
Yeah, I ran Mon Mothma, an assault frigate Mark II with the Paragon title, which is the double arc out of black die. 2 torpedo frigates, which are the blue dice, get close, inflict pain guys. Both titled with their Lando on foresight and Walex on admonition. I think there's a Tantive with Leia to just make sure that I had the right orders at the right time.
APTs and XI7s on them as well.
Oh no, I had APTs on both of them. I didn't have XI7s. I had the H9s on foresight. It's the H9s where you can change a die to an accuracy. So you ensure you get that accuracy. And then I had Dash and Han making up the squadrons. And I had a big enough bid to win the bid all day. I think it was about 10 points.
No, it's too high.
Yeah.
That's nowhere near enough now.
Nowhere near enough these days. Yeah, that's one thing that's really changed. Holy shit.
But first round, I got really lucky. I went up against an Akbar player, and he got super unlucky with a certain maneuver he did. I just presented his ships at the right time for me to take my activations and smash both of these assault frigates with using both of my torpedo frigates, and then just circle his MC-80 just to try to bring it down. I think he ended up flying off the board. I can't remember which objective we were playing. I want to say it was like fire lanes or something, and I was just still scoring points off that. And he like flew off the board and gave me the 10-1 or whatever. So then I went into the second round, and so I've been so this was my third tournament. And this is the second time I'd played Ben at a tournament.
Yeah, a theme that continued into many more tournaments.
Out of 50 people.
Yeah, out of all those people. And that's where my day went downhill. I lucked out against Ben because I put foresight in front of the 2 assault frigates to basically stay out of the side arcs. Managed to flip the Consnoy's crit.
You shot me with your front, and I saved all my defense tokens.
Yeah.
Because for the broadside.
Yeah.
And then,
and then I flipped Consnoy's.
Which lowered me to speed 0. So when the broadside fired, I couldn't use all the defense tokens I'd saved.
Yes.
Pro
play.
And you basically one-shot it from there, didn't you? That was
and then I one-shot it. And then the next turn was the next assault frigate, same way. But my big screw-up was slowing down as I approached the contested outpost with my assault frigate. Basically thinking your squadrons wouldn't do much without activations. But I think what lost me, to give you a 6-5, was that your squadrons could just chew down on the assault frigate, unfettered, because Dash and Han had died by that point.
Yeah,
they were in range, were they? You left them in range of the...
It was because it was a contested outpost, so my fighters... I think turn 1, my fighters killed Dash.
Yeah.
Turn 2, they all zipped back over to the outpost. Then the frigates exploded, and I thought I'd lost.
Yeah.
But then your assault frigate was going speed 1 near the outpost to get points.
Yeah.
And it couldn't speed up in time to get away from the cloud of fighters and bombers.
So the cloud comes in, and then next turn nibbles me to death.
So I had 2 or 3 turns of them not needing commands because he was slowly spinning around the station trying to speed up.
Maybe the worst just not worry about the points of the station.
Yeah,
just leave.
I should have shot past. So that's the thing I was figuring out.
I think you underestimated the Y-Wings.
Yeah, massively underestimated the Y-Wings. They never worked for me, and this was prior to Bomber Command. I just thought, I can take some damage and hope that my AA can do some damage, but it just didn't.
Y-Wings.
And then from there, I think for the rest of my day, I had another couple of 6-5s against me. then my worst loss was to a recon list. I just couldn't. I ended my activation, and I just was out of range of the MC80 to blow it up. Managed to put like an insane number of damage cards on a Corvette, and ended Foresight's activation in front of the MC80, thinking, I'm alright, I'll survive. Broadside. And buddy old Yavaris comes rocking in, double tapping squadrons, and Luke.
That's before they broke it as well.
Yeah. and Luke, wrecked face. I massively underestimated Luke.
I love Luke. People just don't expect it.
But yeah.
He used to have such a short
He was
threat
so
range,
rubbish,
but
yeah.
Now Yavaris can move and bump and move.
I
And
tell you the other day, like a one-shotted a healthy demolisher with a Talon and
and Yavaris, just triple.
Ridiculous,
Luke.
But
It's good, but it's just...
That's better.
That's better. But yeah, I think overall I was 22nd or 3rd or something. I was pretty happy that the losses that I took, none of them were massive. Aside from the recon list was my worst loss. I think.
Would you get 3 wins?
No. I had
2 losses.
Two losses. No, 4 losses. 2 of them being 6-5s.
Yeah.
3 of them being 6-5s, 1 of them being this recon list, and then I can't remember now. And then that 10-1 at the start.
Nice.
I think the lesson of the day is don't 10-1 your first game.
I don't know, it worked out pretty well for me.
But yeah, then I ended up distinctly mid-table, but I was happy because I enjoyed my games. I think the other thing I learned was just how I managed to always use the tall frigates to put a lot of pain on things. But they just only get like 1 attack run.
You can't turn them around and get another go unless they're like hitting a victory or something.
No, and then they can just get nibbled by like any squadrons on the board.
They do not like fighters.
I thought like Mon Mothma would give me some resilience against Reimer, but I don't think I saw Reimer all day. It was just I mostly played against rebels, and
it's the opposite for me. I played Imperials all day.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
How did you find the 5 games in one day? Because I thought it was going to be way more exhausting than it was.
Yeah, I liked the fact that there was a pub around the corner.
That helped.
Yeah, that helped. It was,
Especially if you finish your game early.
Yeah, it was really relaxed. Basically, I took a list that smashes out games quickly because everything's dead, within an hour.
One way or the other.
You go and have a power nap or a pint.
I basically know what my turn's going to be. Right, this frigate will activate. Try and finish this one off, and then run over here. Anyway,
and it just navigates all day long.
The command phase isn't hard. It navigates.
Yeah, and then 2 squadrons. But then, all my games finished within an hour or so. Basically, it was. I found it nice and relaxing.
Yeah, same here. Actually, I think that was a big part of it for me. Most of my games took an hour and a half, so I had an hour in between each game, so that stopped it being
exhausting.
There is one Bristol character that
was he last on every single round, call time or whatever. Yeah.
And Ben, if you're listening,
hey, you got to take your time over these. It's important. You got to take your time. And make the right
he got his money's worth.
Yeah,
he played twice as much Armada that day.
True.
So good for
him. Yeah.
Good times.
How long was your game on Wednesday with Ben?
I didn't time it on purpose.
We played 2.
It was going to take a while.
We played Matt, and then I played somebody else.
You got 2 games done.
We arrived after you guys had set up.
No, you were in the middle of setting up. To be fair, I think.
You guys had picked your scenario when we arrived. I think. Yeah. You had picked your scenario when we arrived.
And you had 2 games.
And we had 2 games before you finished. Yeah. Although to be fair, in the first game I did fly. I got sliced on Liberty and it went off the board, and that pretty much brought the.
Wow.
Well, I thought I was going to be okay because I threw one of my gunnery teams with XI7s. Not that I mean that matters for the thing, but I had gunnery teams with. I think I had 7.
Man, I'm
seven
amazed
dice.
how gunnery teams are going to keep you from flying off the board.
I had 8. I was able to get the hit. I was able to get the hit on something else, and then I had 8. I had the 5 blue, 3 3 blue, 5 red at the your slicer tool thing, and I got like 9 hits and no accuracy. So I was banking on that.
Killing it.
I was banking on killing it and not getting. It was a bit of a gamble. I mean, it was a test. It was a bit of a gamble, and it didn't pay off.
I think it was part of the not getting sliced, and part of the if you had killed it, you'd have been able to engine tech and give yourself a little bit more your round.
Because he was blocking me as well. Yeah, he was in my way. Yeah. But if I hadn't, the only options I had at that point, because I got part of it was I got screwed by Minefield's deployment. But if I hadn't done that option, I'd have been in the front arc of an ISD and the front arc of Interdictor, and ISD was Avenger, and the Interdictor had Overload Pulse. So it would have been equivalent to flying off the table if I hadn't gone for that kill and the engine
bust through.
Yeah,
but I think
that combo.
I haven't been able to pull it off yet, but I think that's what Liberty's going to do. That's how it's going to work, is by basically turboing past people's arcs and coming around.
Yeah, I had it fall off every time.
I had it all done and lined up. If I'd killed
the Overload Pulse.
No, the Overload Pulse you pull off every single.
Yeah.
What did you learn from Nationals? What was your takeaway?
My takeaway is don't fly torpedo frigates without some squadron cover.
Or Recon.
or possibly Recon. Mon Mothma was a lot of fun. When you're, especially with Foresight, when you're saying, "Oh yes, I'm just going to cancel both of those dice." But what? Virtually
immune to like ship fire, but just whittled by squadrons.
Yeah, massively so. But I enjoyed it. I think part of me was like, let's play something that could only possibly work in Wave 2. I thought go Squadron Light because, with the arrival of Bomber Command and all those sorts of things, that squadrons would take a much bigger presence now.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, we still had Reimer and stuff, but I didn't see a serious.
I think it was underestimated even then, because the list with squadrons, like the heavy squadron list, were still working really, really well in Wave 1.
Yeah.
They were,
and 2, I mean.
I think they people underestimated squadrons in Wave 2.
It's only till now that they're just
out of them.
Yeah,
I definitely did.
But you could get away with running minimal stuff because Bomber Command meant they were inconsistent. You could generally rely on luck or dice to take one hit and then fly away. But with Bomber Command and Torrent Fire, and
I feel like
it makes it so consistent now.
I feel like I'm one of those people that always rolls bad dice, so I always have to have things that can modify those dice rolls. And with Squadrons pre-Bomber Command, you had no modifications. My Torp frigates
there was a one B-wing. There was
Dash, which was in my list. I'm all about them dice.
He can't miss.
Wow,
right in the thick of it.
You say that. I'm sure because we had that when we played.
Oh, well, that's back when you thought that you could.
We weren't sure if we
reroll.
Well, you could reroll once for each thing. We weren't sure. We played it the right way in the end, I think.
No, we played one game the wrong way round. Then I checked it. But yeah, when we played it the wrong way around, Dash literally couldn't miss.
Yeah. Well, as long as he was in the middle of if he's in the middle of a fighter squadron, Right, is that done? Done on Nationals?
Done with Nationals.
Yeah.
Bring on 2017.
An iconic alternative art card for a general that you basically will never, ever, ever, ever use.
Vader.
I know we got Vader.
If he was 18 points, I'd use it.
I'd rather have the Vader Squadron card. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Use far more.
But I did get the double-sided acrylic range ruler, which is super useful. Not like those regional green ones.
Well, you have one on each. Yeah.
And I got some objective tokens, which is cool.
I bet they give out the ruler next one. They're bound to give that ruler out again.
They've changed the structure now, haven't they, of the kits? They're doing 4 kits a year, and it's just cards. They're getting rid of coins, I think.
Are we going to have autumn kits then?
So I think they're just called quarterly kits. They're called Q1 and Q2. I think. I'm not sure if this applies to Armada as well, but I just saw it on an X-Wing feed the other day. There's I think they're doing similar to now. So everybody gets a card, like a basic card, and then the top 2 or 3 get a super good card or a more desirable card, and then I think they do
the next
they do rulers or some kind of cool accessories, but they're getting rid of the coins and. and then I think they're doing 4 kits a year
Oh,
instead
for
of
shame.
3.
I like the coins.
So
Yeah,
it makes,
all those
makes them
stands.
even more rare. Now, doesn't it?
I know, but I need more. Like, I want to use them as turn counters.
I want to use them as.
I've only got 4. I need 6.
I want to use them as objectives for minefields or whatever. Like,
I've seen one guy who uses them for his shield tokens in X-Men.
yeah,
It's like, holy shit.
yeah, that's
tokens.
yeah, it's pretty arrogant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that
Oh, well,
nationals?
but I guess if you're that good, then fair
Why
play,
not?
you know.
Well,
Or you
yeah,
try and
sure.
intimidate your
just bought
opponent,
them all off
or you just
eBay.
bought them off eBay. Yeah, and your opponent's really intimidated, and then you trounce
I
it.
met one guy at Nationals who had, I forget exactly what his list was, but it had like 6 or 7 ships. It was mostly Raiders and maybe Demolisher as well. And they all had alternate art cards. So he had like 5 or 6 Raider cards and a Demolisher card.
Had to buy them.
He must, because you're only going to get 1 from a tournament. Maybe you could get 2 or 3.
Maybe you just travelled
tournaments.
or just borrowed
Everywhere?
from friends.
whole
You'd have
of
to
the
literally
UK?
go around the UK, wouldn't you, to
Yeah.
get that many kits? Well, that's fair. That's
He
cool,
made
because
it.
that's his
He might
fleet,
have
you
done,
know?
yeah.
Like,
He had what? Sorry.
Raider, he had like 6 Raider 1s, all with alternate
Oh yeah,
art
no,
cards.
there was a guy that did that. I don't think any of you guys came. It was the first tournament I went to. It was the Cardiff Store Champs,
Mhm.
and he took that. He took 7 Raider 1s, and he got the all art. He just borrowed them off people because nobody else was
Yeah,
using
yeah,
Raiders
yeah.
at that
Yeah,
point in time. Like no
Fair enough.
Raiders were really
So maybe that was the same
uncommon.
guy.
He just
Might
went
have been the
round.
same guy.
He just went round. I think he had 3 or 4 from another tournament that he just traded them or got them off people who didn't care, and then he just borrowed them off people for that tournament.
Yeah, it's
To
because
use
I
all
didn't
of
care
them.
about mine.
But he basically every game he played. We won't get too much of a tangent on that list, but it was a cool list. Every game he played was like a 6-4 or a 4-6.
Yeah, you're never going to get a big
He just
win
killed
for that.
big, and then died big, and so it was just on like that was back when it was out of 10 or 11.
Working out
so-
the objectives and stuff.
so, but yeah, that was a cool list. So let's move on to the summer kit.
Yeah, so like 2-3 weeks ago we played
big, yeah. So-
Bristol Summer Kit. We got 16, 18?
Yeah, so it was
16 people.
16. It was Bristol Independent Gaming near us in Bristol.
Yeah, if you're in the southwest or Wales,
Check it out.
come down.
Great venue.
Yes,
They
definitely
do.
drive.
They do. Like it's becoming quite a big tournament venue, for, like especially for like Age of Sigmar and Warhammer and 40K
Yeah, Kings of
GTs
War.
are there and
They
stuff.
do a lot of
Kings
Kings of War tournaments.
Yeah, because they've got like a converted warehouse thing with plenty of room for big.
So little places that just
big
have that
games.
space, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Because most places are in town centres or small.
parking's
small
not a
footfall.
problem.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah. So it's good. So yeah, he had Jim, the owner. He had people on the waiting list. So at 16, he only had the cards, obviously for the.
Yeah,
Normally,
yeah.
if Jim organises casual, he'll just keep going until he. Until people stop buying the tickets, but with this, because it's a set kit, he stopped at 16. He had a waiting list, and not only have a waiting list, he had people ringing him up on the day,
Yeah, to see if anyone
saying,
dropped
"Has
out."
anyone dropped out? Has anyone
Yeah.
called you to say they're not
So
coming?"
we could have
Or
had
anything?
20 players. I
We
think.
could have had 20 players, which for an Armada tour, like,
National
'cause-
size.
It's not even like a regional thing or anything like that.
No, it's just a
Original,
summer
sorry.
kit, yeah,
It's just a regular kit. Yeah.
which is amazing. So it shows how the
It's
game
not
has
just
gone.
a summer kit.
Strength
That, to be
to
fair,
strength.
had a good card. There's reasons.
Nobody plays Boba
XI7.
Fett.
Oh, the XO7, yeah. I thought you were talking about Boba Fett.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
No,
whoa.
Boba Fett's awesome
one card.
for half the points. He's a
It
bit too
looks
expensive.
amazing.
It was a
It's a
great
nice piece of art. Yeah, very nice piece of art. So
I'm
can
so
enjoy
jealous.
it. I can
I'm
enjoy
so
it.
jealous.
you can
Spoilers.
sit it in your folder there.
and never use it.
The trouble is, Ricky, you can't put it in a recon list, so you're stuffed.
I do have.
So
One day I'll get.
I don't think I've ever seen you fly Imperials.
I have.
played you
I have.
once.
Yeah.
What did you- what did
he's
you
dusted
bring?
them off.
I can't remember. It lost.
oh yeah, I think you did bring something.
It was my
Yeah.
first Imperial list I played.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
Once.
Definitely
once
seen
You
you.
blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen you fly an IFD and a Demolisher and a Raider. Yeah, you've definitely played. We played Imperials once.
Played once, twice now, maybe.
So
enough.
so yeah, so we turned up. So it was a great turnout. I think shows how the game's going strength to strength. Really, people are starting to pick it up. I guess the timing of wave 3 and 4 probably helped a bit, but
We got 5 and
Yeah, I think it's
I
just
don't know,
people.
just people are starting to get on.
You know, there's a Facebook group for Southwest players that's picking up.
Yeah.
And you just see people playing it in the shop more, so people get into it because
Yeah.
you see it being played.
And it's a cool theme. Like it's not a hard sell, is it?
Nah.
Like,
Star Wars.
every geek loves Star Wars, and lots of non geeks as well. And you know,
but there's
So-
new people. I don't think they're people that come to Big often. I think they just must have picked
There
up.
was a few from Cardiff.
Yeah, people had
They've been over to previous tournaments at Big, and then a couple came up from sort of Western, starting off down there, I think. So, and I'm not sure if there was any others. I'm not sure. I think Ryan, the guy I played in the last game, I think he sort of loiters around with the Wales crowd. I think he seemed
Loiters. that Wales crowd.
part of the Wales crowd.
Always up to no good.
I guess we'll be against them in the regionals. If we haven't played them already yet.
Yeah, we'll go to Firestorm, so there'll be plenty of them there. So yeah, we'll do it in round order. We'll just run round our lists and talk through what they had. So I had one wave 3 and 4 thing, I think, in my
You
whole
basically
list.
just took an old school Akbar list.
I'd always wanted to try it. Assault frigates and A-wings.
It's like a wave 1 list.
Asfrigs and A-wings, yeah. I think it's similar to I guess it was 300 points that won the Worlds last year. But this is obviously now at 400, and I think the Worlds didn't have Akbar because he wasn't out then.
Right.
So it's along those lines, and I chucked Torrin Far in because she's in 100%
Yes, you had what, two assault frigates, 8 A-wings.
So I had three assault frigate Mark IIBs because why would you have the A's? One had Akbar, ECMs and Leia, which I don't think I played anyone with slicer tools all day, so she was completely
Leia was
pointless.
redundant.
Yeah, and then I had one with ECMs, Torrin Far and gunnery team, one with gunnery team, ECMs and boosted comms. The reason I didn't have gunnery teams on Akbar was to try and catch people out with advanced gunnery.
Yeah.
And I actually did. One guy tried to call me on it, and I went, "It's not on there," because I said I'll put advanced gunnery on Akbar, and he went,
So
fuck.
Anyone at home? It's a weird quirk of the rules, if you didn't already know, that if you have a gunnery team and you have advanced gunnery objective, your gunnery team card overwrites the objective card.
Yeah.
So you actually gain no benefit from that objective at all if you have gunnery teams on everything.
It's in the fact, but it is a tenet of most rules or any games will have a rule built in. The fundamental rule is always cards.
Yeah.
Overall rules.
Yeah. But an objective is a card and gunnery teams is a card.
Yeah, true. But because gunnery team specifically says on it, you cannot fire at the same ship.
Yeah.
More than once. You can put it on there, but it just does nothing for you.
Yeah.
No effect. So yeah, he sort of mentioned that, and I pointed out on my list that I deliberately left that space. Although in the end, it did me no good in that particular game. And then I had 7 A-wings and Janels, and I took advanced gunnery, as I mentioned already, to basically dump on Akbar and try and make him quite lethal with double tapping ships at long range.
It was good. And then double the points for whatever ship they put it on.
Yeah.
It was good.
And then contested outpost, because 3 assault frigates moving at speed 1 around a contested outpost.
With a ball of fighters.
With a ball of fighters and gunnery teams.
Yeah.
You're going to get shot at least 3 times, potentially 3 times by Akbar broadsides. And then I have minefields as well, because I've got a little line. I can make you come where I want you.
And you haven't got anything small to go get dangerous territory.
Exactly. And I'm just moving them in a line, similar manoeuvre each time, so I'm not getting confused with. I'm not playing a risky game, throwing corvettes out there and trying to find little spots to sneak them into and all that sort of thing. So that was my list. It came in at 399. Didn't care about bid though. Going second's fine because you go first. You move something into range. I shoot it. I move. Same. So I'm quite happy for you to move into my ridiculous broadside arc. Ben?
Nice. So I took Imperials for the first time ever. In fact, this was the first time I didn't take my classic list that I took to Nationals. Well, let me get this list up. So it was an ISD with Motti, ECMs, gunnery teams, XI7s, the boring standard. Leading shots. I took Captain Nida on it.
Awesome.
In case I ran into someone with a TRC swarm. Because that's basically saving you 2 damage a turn, that awesome. Evade token.
That's awesome.
And unusually, the only odd thing I put on it was a point defense reroute upgrade, which I'd never taken before. That's the one that lets you re-roll your crits for your anti-squadron attacks. And the theory there was it's got gunnery teams. If it's only got 1 ship to shoot at, it can shoot squadrons out of its front. With 2 blues, re-rolling crits. You've got a pretty good chance of getting hits then.
And it's only crits in close range, isn't it?
Oh yeah, only close range, yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think it's awesome as well because even if you re-roll on the crit, the accuracies are useful as well. because there's lots of character squadrons around in today's, and they have, especially Imperial ones, they all
With
have
scatter.
scatters.
Yeah.
So if you've got a hit and a crit, it's useless. But if you can,
Reroll
you
it.
can even if you get an accuracy, you can still dump damage, and they're all like 3 hull squadrons, so you can thin them out quick.
So that actually worked out quite well. I do rate that, but only on a Star Destroyer because of the 2 blues. Anything else you don't want to
in this
re-roll
meta,
with
it's
and
not
in this,
so great because it's close range as well with the Rhymer cut.
yeah, no
So
good against
it's,
Rhymer. But the idea was I was worried a lot of people were going to take Yavaris.
Yeah. Justifiably.
And then I had the standard issue Gladiator, Demolisher, Ordnance Experts, Engine Techs, Proton Torpedoes, and I stuck the Skilled First Officer on there in case he got sliced, so he can discard the sliced order.
He's just got a stack of Navigates.
And exactly, yeah. So just make sure you get that Navigate off. For 1 point, seems worth it because you don't have the option for layer in Imperial.
Yeah.
And then I had a Gazonti with Slicer Tools and a Raider with nothing. And then I had 4 Interceptors and Hellrunner.
Was it just one Gazanti you had?
Yeah, no, the list I'm looking at here is a modified version of the list I took.
Cool.
So yeah, ISD, Gazonti, Raider, Demolisher,
Bit of everything.
4 Interceptors and Hellrunner. I think it was 4. I might have got something wrong there, but if that list doesn't add up to 400 points,
Someone do the
then I
maths.
got it
Right
wrong.
in.
And I maybe had
it's
one more, one
uncomplained.
less Interceptor.
They're all
Ed
thereabouts.
doesn't do his maths properly.
He was cheating.
What did I do?
Let's not go there again, not based on the previous tournament.
Oh yeah, I have once in my one game in my life taken 1 X-wing more than I should have done,
A whole X.
and I'm never going to live it down.
You were 14 points, 13 points over.
Yeah,
Wow.
but Chris noticed it before we deployed, so
Yeah,
it
so it
didn't
made the
actually
difference.
make any
Yeah,
difference.
exactly.
I just put 1 more down than I should have.
I should have kept.
You should have waited
and
then complained.
Oh, you won, did you? Judge! I'm not like that.
Win at all costs.
Yeah,
yeah, I had
I would be playing Armada if I was like that.
I had a 12-point bid on that list,
Oh, wow.
Gotta get that Demolisher bit.
which was all about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
last
demo.
first Demolisher.
Demo.
Who did I fight the first round?
Objectives.
Oh, objectives, yeah.
yeah.
And then we'll do Matt's list.
This may or may... This is the objectives that are in the list now, but it's 3 weeks later, so they might be slightly different. It's Most Wanted, Fire Lanes, and Intel Sweep. And I think I played Intel Sweep all 3 games.
Nice.
Or maybe I didn't against...
No, I think you did probably against me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Definitely
like
against
Intel
me.
Sweep won you the game. Well, I definitely won you the game, but
Yeah, I think I played it all 3 times.
spoilers.
So,
So, yeah. So
first round was against Matt, as
Yeah,
true to form.
should we do?
yeah, do your
Oh, yeah,
list,
yes, do
Matt.
your list.
Do your list.
So my list was everyone's favourite Rebel Admiral, Rican. And what pairs nice with Rican? Like a nice wine and cheese pairing, nice Admiral and ship pairing is obviously Yavaris. In the Net B, on the Net B. Mon Cal. And
Bats Invasion.
no, I didn't. Did I?
Moncal, that's pretty vague. That's
Could be one of 3.
any number of ships.
You have a choice of 3 now.
Well,
Is it
6,
are you saying like a
technically.
torpedo frigate?
No,
Is your favourite
sorry,
sort of
the home
The
one.
big one. Home one.
Home one.
The MC80, but I forget the name of the title. The
Defiance.
Defiance title. And 2 transports, one running Bomber Command, and the other having repair crews and Leia for that protection. Had Torrent Fire in the list on the other transport to get those rerolls, and then as it was Recon, I put in every unique squadron I could fit in for 400 points. So Luke showed his face alongside Wedge, Nim, Jan because she's amazing, and pretty much everyone. Kean was even in there, even though he's not that.
He is good.
He's
awesome.
He's amazing.
He's really good.
He's
But
amazing,
He is expensive.
but he's expensive.
Too costly.
He,
Yeah, so
you find out later he did some nasty stuff to me.
So yeah, the tactic of the list is use the MC80 and Yavaris, make a big bundle of squadrons.
We should probably point out you've got those fighter coordination teams on both.
Yes,
you can
the old drag
drag your fighters when
drag
you
and
move.
drop. No, I had fighter coordination on Yavaris, and then I had Adar Talon on the MC80.
You didn't have it twice.
No, because
No.
it takes up the engine tech slot. You can have it with that.
Oh, but I just don't have the.
Oh, okay.
What's
Don't
it?
use any
Two.
You have on the MCAE.
Isn't it two? What do you need to buy it to get the?
Interdictor, he comes in.
Oh yeah, so you need two of those.
What, you haven't bought two Interdictors?
Who does
You're
that?
a madman! No, I think I lent Ricky my one.
Right. Secret tech there.
You need two.
Oh, fair play.
There's a tip.
Especially if you're running B-Wings.
Well, you have it on both the
MCAE.
the MC80 and Yavaris.
Because then you can drag 6 things along a turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That is good tech.
What were your objectives?
I want to say contested outpost, minefields, and precision strike. I think nobody chose precision strike, and I had minefields actually used. It was probably the first time anyone's picked minefields against me. And actually, I don't want to go into spoilers. Let's just move on to Ricky's list.
Yep.
Because
It was very similar to yours.
yeah.
It was
Who copied who?
Well, Ricky
Both
basically
great minds think alike.
Put it that
You
way.
both came up with it on the
I think Ricky owns Reek.
It's not called General Ricky Can for that.
So yes, I did have Recon. I did have Yavaris. I ran 2 transports, an MC80. That was it. The 4 ships. But my squadrons varied differently to Matt's.
Yeah, all your.
I took 2 X-wings. I took a wedge, Nim, of course, because that's where the power is.
Yeah, if you Yavaris and Talon Nim for the 3
Yes.
shots, and you're re-rolling that blue dice twice with Bomber Commander and
Torrent
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 Fire.
Fire.
So you've got a
So-
pretty good chance of knocking out 2 or 3 defense tokens.
So you got
turn.
3 shots at doing it. And I did get to do it a couple of times against quite a few people.
And then a load of B-Wings, is that on
And
Who
the 2
else?
B-Wings, yes.
Yeah, so mine,
Jan, obviously. You got up Jan. And 2 B-Wings I took with me.
yeah, basically, mine was just.
I would have liked Kian, but he's
Unique.
too expensive. You take two B-Wings because you need the blues on the bombs. One of my transports was carrying Ador Talon and boosted comms, so it could get the extra activation on Nim. Yavaris was flight coordinations and the flight commander, so I could move and shoot.
I think from this
Move
point
and
on,
bomb.
if we say Yavaris, I think we always mean
Yeah,
the escort frigate, the Yavaris title, the flight commander, and the flight coordination teams.
that's the base.
You just don't
Yavaris.
leave home without those.
Exactly.
Remember, kids.
But where it was different, MC80 was carrying Torrent Fire, flight command coordination team, and ECMs.
Yeah, obviously I had the ECMs on mine, and leading shots on mine as well.
Yeah, and
But I have leading shots for them rerolls.
Torrent Fire being on the MC80, it's always around the bombers. It's always in the battle.
Always in the middle of it, isn't it?
Yeah. That was.
You get the blue reroll on the side arc of the Nebs as well. Yeah.
I didn't actually use Torrent Fire on any of the ships. It just never happened. Just on the bombers.
I find she's quite good if she's next to Yavaris. When Yavaris just sprays fighters,
Yeah, fighter.
she's awesome for
Because
that.
it's 2 blues, isn't it?
Yeah, she's really, really good for that. She's like a better
Oh, yeah,
point.
on the
She's a
squadron.
better point defense reroute. And Yavaris, I've basically found when I've played against it, it never because I go quite heavy squadron to try and stop it or gum it up for as long as I can. It never shoots my ships. It just tries to kill my squadrons quicker so that it can bomb me.
I've
quicker.
never had that. Well, I've never used it as.
You never bother trying to fight fighters, though, do you? You just
I
try
take
to
them out
kill
with
them.
mine.
Yeah.
I always use my X-Wings and stuff and use the Yavaris to double
Yeah.
tap the X-Wings. Take out the squadrons before they're even a problem.
Cool,
We'll
that's
come
all
on to
the-
that. later.
that's all the lists, isn't it?
objectives.
Oh, the
Brilliant.
objectives. I took advanced gunnery and contested outposts because it's just an easy one, and superior positions on that day.
Yeah.
So I think generally superior positions and contested outposts are pretty popular for fighter-heavy lists, aren't they?
It's easy
very,
points.
Very
Yeah.
strong.
Easy points. And gunnery team, no one's going to pick.
MC80.
Not with an MC80 floating around.
What was the title on the MC80? Defiance
No,
as well.
no
Oh,
title.
no title.
Can't afford that.
So if it's
So- was
Defiance,
it 399,
definitely I'm picking
so-
it.
399 was
So no
Pretty
real
sure,
bid for
yeah.
you.
no one bid.
No, you don't
One
really want
bid.
to bid with that kind of list.
But go first, go second.
Don't
It's
care.
pretty easy.
Yeah. So go on to my first game. So I think I played your friend Ricky, Ian.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
He was
and
quite
he-
inexperienced.
Yeah, I think it was his first tournament or second
Yeah,
tournament.
first tournament.
So he brought we pretty much had like a wave 2 matchup. He had 2 ISD multi lists, and I had Akbar gunline on assault frigates. So
Wow.
there was not much wave 3 or 4 going on there. He had those two. I think he had a Gazanti. I think it was Suppressor. Maybe I don't think he had Slicer Tools. I can't remember getting sliced. I think it might have.
Sure, I
been
told him
Suppressor.
to take a Slicer Tool.
He might have taken a Slicer Tools on it, but
It probably died straight away.
I think it sliced like an assault frigate that just didn't care what it had or something.
Yeah.
So it died. And then he had quite a cool little anti-fighter, anti-squadron setup. He had like Mauler.
I set that up.
Yeah. So you do play Imperial. You can remind me what it was, Ricky, because I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Mauler,
Mythal,
Dengar.
Dengar was in there.
There was a few interceptors.
Is there Vader in there?
No Vader.
Was there
It was,
Soontir in Advance? I can't remember.
What's the one that... That's Smaller Mythal, wasn't it? The one that moves and damages
Yeah, that's
you?
Mauler, yeah.
And the one that if you don't shoot first...
Suntir fell.
Yeah.
You don't shoot at him.
You
Yeah,
get
and
hurt.
there was some
2 escorts.
Yeah, and he played. To be fair, he played that game. He played that game pretty well in the Squadron game. But I think he had a better bid. He went first. I picked Dangerous Territory, which is quite an odd objective for that list. For me, it was just an easy pick. I can't even remember what the other two. I don't even look at them. I picked Dangerous Territory, deployed all my obstacles in the corners.
He wasn't supposed to take that one. He wasn't supposed to
Two,
down there.
two ISDs do not want a dangerous territory.
And so I think I
can.
conceded because he put his 3 where he could get them, so he got 45 points for the 3, and I clipped 1 in the first turn and then just repaired up with my assault frigate. I put the other 2 miles away and sort of said, well, if you want to go and chase that with one of your ships, I'll go and kill the other one while you do that, sort of thing. So it pretty much panned out exactly like those Wave 2 games always did. The ISDs come into Akbar, Motti lags behind. He was too far back. I jumped the gun a bit with my A-wings because I was trying to shut Dengar down and Mauler down and just pin them in there. But Ian did pretty well. He managed to kill my A-wings and then jump Mauler in and cause havoc. So he killed a few more of my A-wings than I liked. But he just flew one ISD. He was just getting triple tapped.
It was good to see that.
Akbar every turn. So he went. I don't think he went down till turn 5. But then I killed the Gazanti as well and flew off. So
if you're going second, those assault
he didn't have enough ships.
Drift away from you, and you're chasing them. And
he didn't have enough ships to outweight me, so he had to fly his ship
Just
into
into fly
all my
straight.
guns. Shot him, moved away. Shot him, moved away. And I was able to sort of repair and redirect up enough that I didn't lose any single assault frigate. I think we just traded squadrons. So I killed all his squadrons, and he killed roughly the points worth of squadrons that I killed.
And then you got the ISD.
And I got the ISD with, not with Motti, but it was quite heavily upgraded. It had the usual gear like XI7s and stuff. And then I think he got 45 points on Dangerous Territory, and I got 15. So it was an 8-2 in the end. Fairly sort of straightforward game. But yeah, I hadn't all the lists I prepared for. That wasn't really one of them. So
You did alright against him.
yeah, I got an 8-2.
Yeah, it was a good matchup for Akbar as well.
Yeah. 2 ISDs is definitely a good matchup. So, but I think Ian hopefully got some good stuff out of the game because he played his squadrons well. So maybe just drop Dangerous Territory with 2 ISDs because it's an easy easy pick for second player.
Oh, so we played in Matt. You and I
could do
once
yours
again
at the same time.
Got matched up. So that'll save us some time, won't it? Have we ever both been to a tournament and not played each other?
The first time I went to a tournament, I didn't play you.
Right.
Was Ben at the tournament though?
Yeah, Ben was at the tournament. But yeah, out of 4 events I've been to, I've played you in 3 of them.
Wow. So I can't remember a lot about it actually. I remember. I think I chose to go second because that's what I usually do against Yavaris. Because Yavaris wants to go second, so that it's the last thing you do is activate Yavaris, so it doesn't get killed at the end of the turn. Because with Recon, you don't want Yavaris dying at the end of the turn. You want it to basically someone commits early in the turn and kills it.
Then you get two lots of double taps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I made you go first, and I think we did Intel Sweep.
Yeah.
And I just had we just did the standard, like you had 2 over there, I had 3 over by my end. I had a raider go and hoover them up, and you grabbed them with your home 1.
Yeah. I think it might have been one of the transports, but you won that game.
I forget the details. What did we actually meet? Did we properly smash into each other or not?
Yeah.
I'm completely blanking on this game.
Okay, so what?
I blame it being cold in there. It was freezing.
Yeah.
So, as I remember it, and this is going to work beautifully for the listeners at home, I deployed my home one, my transports and squadrons in the lower right-hand corner as I look down on the board.
Yeah, as far right at the edge of your deployment zone.
Yeah, essentially. And I remember you having, in the top left, you had your ISD Demolisher, and you possibly had the Raider or the Gazanti opposite my deployment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Raider, I think, was hanging back.
And I remember one of them just quickly nipped across as a total bluff. I remember slow rolling forwards.
Mm-hmm.
You came in on the play that mattered. My squadrons couldn't quite pin as much of yours as I wanted it to.
I'd spaced my interceptors out.
Far enough.
In like a wide screen, so that Jan could only like intel one or two of them.
Yeah. And then I had, I remember the Demolisher ran in and did a lot of damage to Yvaris, was able to engine tech past him and somewhat to safety, and then aimed for the MC-80. I think basically what happened is my MC-80 surprisingly broadsided the Demolisher.
Yeah, I think I thought I was out of arc when I was just in.
And all the small and medium ships died. You won the objective game, and possibly still had your transport still on the board. And I had two big ships facing each other as it ended. And as the dust settled, you had won 7.
Yeah, 7. Because we were using the old scoring system.
Yeah, because Jim's software hadn't updated.
He didn't update the software.
Yeah, and he was like, we still told him to update it just to work it out manually, and he was like, nah.
Yeah, it was 7-3 in the end.
But I think what I've fluffed, because it was my first time trying to use the old Yvaris combo, is I engaged my squadrons too early and didn't expect the Demolisher to come in. Well, I expected the Demolisher to come in hard and to be scared of it.
And fast.
Yeah.
First and last.
But my experience of playing against Demolishers, sometimes they just they should go down quickly to squadrons and things. But I think you managed to manoeuvre him just right to.
Yeah, I think I kept his speed high, so once he left, you couldn't reach him with your squadrons in one activation.
No.
And then you thought, well, I may as well focus on the ISD at that point.
And I couldn't get the ISD down. I was lucky to get the Demolisher down and possibly the Raider or something. I don't remember the specifics, but you had won that game, as you had won our matchups most regularly.
Yeah, I never get the big win against you, though. That's why I call you the Dream Crusher. Because I think I got 8s and 10s at Nationals in every game, except against you.
And the guy.
And then I was down on points.
Yeah.
So you
Lost a free trip.
You struck again.
Oh well, if you're a family man, you can't be swanning over to America.
No time for that.
No, I'm sure you wouldn't have wanted a free trip to America, all expenses paid.
No, that's more.
Was it really all expenses paid?
I think it's just flights and accommodation.
Yeah, I think it still cost a fair bit to get.
Most expenses paid.
Most expenses paid. Okay.
Yeah, the expensive bits are paid.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that was that, and then Ricky,
it was a tough game.
I believe I played someone called Alex. Hopefully I got that right. He had a Yvaris list with Dodana. And
so he's for 3 games we've played.
Been relatively new to our
3
group
copies
as well.
of Yvaris. 4 copies of Yvaris.
Yeah, out of 3 games, there's 4 Yvarises.
See how this is going. Right?
So it was a surprise to see it without Recon. So he didn't take the MC-80, he took a assault frigate. I can't remember the rest exactly.
Did he take a lot of B-wings?
It was a lot.
Yeah, it's B-wings and X-wings.
Yeah. But I mean, as a newer player, you look at these things and I think it's legit because you have Bomber Command now and you have Dodana and you can put a lot of crits through on the ships. The problem is you don't realise how fragile Yvaris is without Recon.
Don't
You
think I took that straight away.
guarantee
I think I wiped out his squadrons pretty quick. I did Yvaris those up.
If
He committed to you, didn't he? And then so you got the... None of your stuff died straight away, and then you double-tapped, activated him.
I did, and he lost... I don't think I lost anything on.
And you had like wedge as well.
Wedge,
with
yeah,
double
six
tap
eyes,
wedge with
Oh,
against squadrons that
he
have
is
already
killer, isn't he?
activated.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got to fire him
with
3 times.
re-rolling with Torrin Far.
Ah.
He didn't have too much left after that, and that was a 10-0. 10-0 win.
Nice.
What was the objective? Did you say? Don't even know.
I
Don't
can't
care. Doesn't
remember.
irrelevant.
I
I
irrelevant.
think after he lost the fight war, he still then committed to the fight, didn't he? And then
He did and lost.
and then just lost a
his
lot.
assault.
And what was
the assault
his-
frigate died to the
Admiral, you
bombers.
said Dodonna?
The Donna,
Yeah. And you had Riken.
Yeah, but I didn't even have a chance to use Riken didn't even fire.
Oh, because no one died.
No one died.
Right.
So it was a
No.
new player. Unfortunately, he got wiped out.
Oh, it happened.
I
gave him lots of tips.
heavy silence.
He probably learned a bit about
He would have
using
learned a lot.
Yvaris, though. Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah,
of different cards that would work better with it.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely sure he did take Riken.
I think everyone's got to run into the Riken Yvaris wall at least once before they realise you can't just run straight into it head first.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, it was a good game for me, and I'm sure he learned quite a few lessons.
So second game, I played Stephen Gage from the Cardiff guys, I think, and I played him before he came over to one of the, I think it was maybe the Big Store champs.
Mhm.
And in that game, I played him with a Corvette TRC list, and he played me with a Defiance list, and I think I narrowly edged it by a point or 2, like a 7 maybe. So to this round, he bodged those two together because he was taken aback by how good the TRC Vets thing is. So he had a Defiance list with loads of TRC Corvettes flying around. Very, very nasty list, like huge amount of damage potency, but
Yeah.
it does have to commit to get that. So I think, I can't remember what scenario we played. I think he was first player, but how it came down was he had Akbar, whereas I was using Dodonna with the TRC Corvettes. And he was using them, and I don't like that because I prefer to get a double arc. But
If you're hanging back at range, then Akbar is better because you
Yeah.
can kite people.
yeah,
But then, you don't get anywhere near as much damage when you commit.
yeah. So he went all in on my Torrin Far frigate, and he managed to kill it in the second turn. But in doing so, he had a Corvette hanging right around the side, and I just did the squadron order with both my assault frigates and just A-wing black diced him to death
Wow,
from the Corvette. So and he was very aggressively. I like to keep different players play it differently. I always like to try and keep my evades up as long as I can until I'm basically dead. If I don't, he just burnt evade. But he basically burnt all his evades
Wow.
with the TRCs all in. Smash, but it was effective, and with Defiance as well, sort of going last. He had he had the multiple small Corvettes to wait you out on
Defiance is always
Defiance.
going last.
Yeah, so he played it well, good combo. He had reasonable anti-fighter screen. I think he had 3 or 4 A-wings and a couple of X-wings maybe. So I killed all that. I killed most of his Corvettes, and even when they'd flown round me, because I had the boosted comms assault frigate left, I was able to chase him with 3 A-wings.
Nice.
And I think it came down to sort of the last turn. I had to get 2 damage from 3 A-wings, and I got it and killed one of the other Corvettes. And I think it was a 7-3 in the end. So he killed Torrin Far and a load of A-wings. I killed all his fighters and maybe 3 Corvettes or 2 Corvettes and a flotilla. Maybe I think he had a flotilla with
Sort of 7-3 is a good
something
win.
on it. So 7-3 is good, but it was a hard game. His list was very, very tough, very, very aggressive, very potent, because like the TRCs and Akbar, and like Defiance with Akbar is nuts. You get
it's
in
a
the
lot
side
of
arc
dice.
of that. Oh, that's grim.
You could chuck on
I think
the,
I think maybe he took advanced gunnery. Maybe I went first and he took advanced gunnery. So he had advanced. So it was different ships, and I made a point of only getting 1 frigate in at any one time.
Right.
But like he was taking ones down from full health to like 2 hull left and stuff. So it's like I just had to. I couldn't go after Defiance because
No, you couldn't gang up on it because it just.
I couldn't gang up on it because I get
Yeah.
shot to bits.
Yeah.
And
it's hard enough to take down an MCAD at the best of times.
yeah. So I just stayed away from it as much as I could. But there was times I didn't have a manoeuvre and got stuck. And I think he took Akbar from full down to no shields on the side and 4 damage cards with 1 shot.
Ouch.
So Akbar got the hell out of there. So yeah, 7-3, decent match.
Nice.
So yeah.
And I forget. I've completely blanked on his name. It's the guy you played on
Ryan.
Wednesday. Right.
Oh no, the guy played on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben.
Is he Ben as well? There's
Ben
three
Riley.
Ben.
Ben Riley.
Yeah.
Ben Riley. The guy who Ricky played first. Then I played.
Yeah.
After. Yeah. Ben Riley. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I think this was like he's only just started playing, and this tournament was his first tournament.
It was like his third game or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Third ever
he
game with
hadn't played
Armada or
much.
something.
And he had an ISD, an Interdictor, and a bunch of TIE fighters.
It's brave to bring an Interdictor to a tournament.
Yeah, I think he was talking about it
Shit in the game.
afterwards, and he was saying he'd had like 2 practice games, and it had done really well in those games. So
Against who?
I don't know. I think he just got lucky with it, and he thought it was better than it was. And he had the thing that sets you at speed 0 if you deploy near it.
Mhm.
This is the only time I've ever played against an Interdictor. He picked Intel Sweep, and picked his ISD to be the sweeper. I deployed everything out, and he deployed basically fully on his left-hand side, and then put the Interdictor speed bump directly opposite him. So I put everything off to one side, but I put my Demolisher in the bubble, and then my Demolisher was basically going to go on my right flank, get around him, and then come up behind him. And I didn't mind deploying it at speed 0 because it had engine techs. So turn 1 you navigate, you get to speed 1 and engine tech, so you're really moving speed 2. Then turn 2, you're up to speed 2 and engine teching, so really going speed 3. So really the starting at 0 didn't slow it down very much at all, and by turn 3 it was in his side and hitting him. So I didn't find that made any difference to the game at all, the Interdictor speed thing. We drove Star Destroyers at each other, but I was going first. So I had the old Demolisher goes in last and then first.
Yeah. So it's three arcs.
Yeah,
with
basically three arcs with Demolisher, and then he drives into my ISDs. Because I had 4 activations and he only had 2. So then he drove into my ISD's range without getting a shot off, and it was just sort of brutal.
Front arc of an
basically.
ISD and 3 Demolisher shots.
This ISD went down real quick.
Is that just 2 ships?
And he hasn't worked. I know on Wednesday he didn't run it with ECMs.
No, he didn't have it at ECMs.
Yeah,
this
so
time
he
either.
just locked the brace, and it's
So he didn't get to use his brain. Oh no, he must have done against Demolisher. Obviously.
but
yeah, that ISD went down really quick, and the Interdictor wasn't in position, so it didn't even get into I managed to stay out of the Interdictor's range until the ISD was dead, and then that was committed, so I could wipe that out in the remaining turns.
Was that over quick, that game?
Yeah.
2 ships.
I felt kind of bad. No, that's it, because he was going last he was going second, but also not going last, so I could totally outmaneuver him with my 2 cheap activations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was grim.
Yeah, 2 ship lists in this meta with no bid or 3. It's just you're asking for Demolisher to pick your pocket.
I think also my ties just were amazing. I had shit hot fighter dice, so I flew them in and just diced him off the board basically. Like I was one-shotting all his TIE fighters. Like Interceptor went in, killed the TIE fighter, one off the next one.
TIE fighter screen, wasn't it?
I forget what it was exactly, but he had more points in it invested in it than I did.
Oh really?
So he had that's it. Because he had Boba Fett, Boss.
Okay.
4 or 5 ties, Howl Runner.
Yeah.
But the ties evaporated immediately, and then Boba and Boss couldn't do much by that point.
So that was a 10.
I think it was a 10. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I had the 75 for Intel Sweep as well.
Jeez.
Poor guy.
Yeah, because he obviously picked up 1 token on his way in and then just exploded.
And your Gazanti had just phoned or radar.
It was either my radar or Gazanti, I can't remember which. Yeah. Matt, how did your second game go?
I played against a Liberty and Assault Frigate. A Liberty with a Moncaron title, an Assault Frigate with a Paragon title, a Transport. I think it might have just been a 3-ship list, and he had Nim and a couple of squadrons. I forget which general he was running. I want to say it was Medine. I deployed. I forget which objective we played exactly, but I know I deployed again. As if you're looking at the map top down, I deployed sort of bottom right bubble. He deployed with a bit of spread opposite me. I just remember the assault frigate coming in, and almost instantly getting ruined, just unsupported. The Liberty came in, and the Liberty was actually somewhat scary. But again, with Yavaris double tapping squadrons,
Yeah, we're done pretty quick.
put them
On the
round the side, where it's basically got no defense, and it was hurting. And then it engine teched, and it came to the side of my
Defiance.
and
And then that was the end of it.
that was the end of that. And the transport went down, and then I think I told him about how zombie X-wings work, and he wasn't able to get away from my squadrons. But I think it was a 9-1. I forget which objective we played. But I possibly lost Yavaris. I'm not actually sure. I think I know I lost one of the transports. Got smoked by the Liberty. Just insane amount of dice. And the Mon Caron title is just
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome,
I love it.
especially with the he had Intel officer as well. So it was like, do I want to use this one token and lose it? Or so it definitely left the MC80 hurting, but I had the flotilla with repair crews, and I had the activations up on him, so I was able to keep that all alive. It was a pretty fun game. I'm just trying to remember which objective we played. I remember I saw he had advanced gunnery on his list, but he also had gunnery teams on his Liberty. And I said to him, I'm not going to pick advanced gunnery because it'd be a slightly dickish thing to do at that
Because he
point.
obviously didn't know that.
He didn't know that about the FAQ, so I told him, this is how advanced gunnery works. I'm not going to pick it because you've obviously set up to have...
But he could have had it on another ship, but just rubbish. Like
he could have put it on his assault frigate, but again, he was running Paragon with the assault frigate, and and I think I think he was running. Was he running gunnery teams in Paragon?
Protects the bombers, or is that?
No, it's the
no,
one where
no,
if you get a double arc, you get an extra dice.
Oh yeah.
but only on the second shot.
Yeah.
You get a black dice on the second shot for 6 points, or for Defiance, where for 5 points you get one on both shots.
Yeah.
Providing that they've
And you don't
activated
have
already.
to double arc either.
Yeah, exactly.
Paragon is really overpriced.
I like it, but it again, it's this thing of relying on unmodifiable black dice or not very modifiable black dice. I mean, you can sit on a concentrated fire token,
but you're not going to win.
and hope that you can.
You really are about to want it.
I like that. Contempt of it. Yeah, but you're not going to do that.
No, seriously,
You're definitely not.
The concentrated firepower token is like the most worthless thing in the game. I mean, obviously it does something, but
I think I've only ever collected them when I have Antilles, and I'm
Yeah,
like, and
that's
I
same here.
get a
Only
great
time.
roll, and I go, well, I
Or
don't need to re-roll anything
when you play
from that,
Precision
so I just end
Strike.
up keeping it. Yeah.
Like the Precision Strike gives you the
Or,
second player those tokens, but it's the
actually,
smallest thing. I think.
Tell a lie, I've had them when I played Tarkin,
Oh,
and I
right,
want them
of
for a
course.
couple of guys, and there's guys at the back who don't need them. Yeah,
That makes sense.
But
It doesn't
Yeah,
make
I mean,
sense on that objective.
If
for
you could think
tokens.
about it, in that objective, right, I can't think of a smaller benefit to give player 2 than concentrate fire. Can you think of something that is
rubbish.
technically a benefit, but is of less value than free tokens? Free concentrate
maybe
fire
squadron tokens if they were playing a terrible list, like a list with no
but-
squadrons.
Yeah.
But it would be a great. It would be a great boon. Yeah,
for
it would
some
be a
lists,
great
that
boon.
would be
for-
amazing.
Yeah,
It should have been any token of your choice for each ship. That would have been a more.
That would have had some value. Like,
It would have been slightly better.
Yeah.
Still not.
no,
the
it still would have been
best,
good though. Like all navigates or
I
engineering.
guess
whatever
so.
you want.
Yeah, I guess
Really
because then
good.
it depends on your list, doesn't it? So if your
Yeah.
list, whatever your list you're playing, you then get a good.
I mean,
setup.
okay, technically almost every ship can use a concentrate firepower token, but compared to what all the other tokens do, it's like so.
It might be
minimal.
awesome in Wave 4 with all the flotillas because you just go, accuracy.
No.
Now I gotcha.
Wow.
one in 8 on red dice. So it'll work 1 in 8 times, right? On average.
Yeah, I guess.
We have to
It's
assume
1
that
in
there's
4
new
on
ones
blue
coming.
dice.
There are how many more objectives are coming into the game with the
Apparently 12.
Yeah, I think
new-
it's
Yeah, it's like doubling the number of objectives.
4 on each one?
Yeah.
Damn. That's going to
no, because they're doing greens, aren't they? They're bringing in new
Oh,
colour.
are they?
Yeah.
So 3 of the
So
other.
it could be.
Green.
Could be 3 of each.
It could be 2. It could be
What's the
2. No,
greens
it could
one
be 5 or 6 of the greens, and then 2 of each of the other colour. So get them
even.
roughly equal. I don't know how I've done that. That's on top of my head, but I think they're bringing greens in. That's what I've seen on.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
a grainy photo from Star Wars Expo in
Oh, is that so
July.
that you have to buy it?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
technically,
You can't enter the tournament without
that
If
expansion.
you have to take 4 objectives, then you have to buy
Yeah,
that
but
thing.
it's
now.
but it's because it's got no modelling. I think you can. It's 30 quid, so discount you can get like.
Oh yeah, I'm not really
27.
complaining,
So
but
it's cheaper than like.
But
buying
Fantasy
a
Flight
ship.
are like that, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They really, you want 4 of each dice in the
Yeah.
starter set, but they only put 3 in.
Yeah.
You have to buy
The packs.
The pack. So then you're not like, oh, I've got X-Wings in the starter set, but I've only got 3 blue dice. Brilliant.
Yeah. So
Do you
I'll
reckon
roll
they-
this, and then I'll remember that roll, and I'll re-roll this one.
Do you reckon they also had fighter coordination team, and it was in one of the flotillas, and then they did some playtesting. They went, well,
Yeah,
nobody is buying 2 interdictors. How can we make people buy a second? Right, we'll put the FCT in the interdictor.
Definitely.
It's such a
Same with XI7s and
Because it's
Nebulon
not even like.
Bs.
Yeah, it makes no sense,
And
right?
flight controllers and Victory Star
But like,
Destroyers.
fine if it makes sense, because like slicer tools on the Gazanti, I guess makes sense because it's a dirty like imperial kind of.
It seems more like a Rebel thing to me, to be honest.
Well, yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
'Cause
Because you've seen the Rebels thing with all the Agent Callus stuff and all the like,
No, I haven't seen the new ones.
but anyway, but thematically, at least it makes sense. But like,
Yeah.
fighter coordination team makes no sense on the interdictor.
No, you would never
Who was
put that
ever
card on there.
Who's ever even given interdictor a squadron order ever?
Well, this is we're saying this now. Next set, something will come out.
something
It'll
will
be
change
like,
it.
Yeah.
what's the special interdictor slot? Suddenly your squadron value is 8. And it's like, oh my god!
It would
Yeah,
need
because
to be
it-
something miniature
because-
like that.
Like,
Make it
if you wanted to
worthwhile.
use like the generic Bosk fighters, I forget what they're called. The
YV666.
Yeah, those things. Like they're only speed 2. They've got the same problem as like B-wings. So you want to drag them. The only things that can drag them are
Interdictor,
Interdictors and Gladiators.
Yeah.
But only 2.
but only 2 of them. That's the problem. And to be honest, those ships aren't even that good.
And they're
Like,
heavy.
They'd be
If
okay
they weren't
if they
heavy,
weren't heavy.
If they weren't
yeah.
heavy, they'd be fantastic. I keep thinking about taking like 3 of them,
Mm.
but they're heavy, so I don't.
Yeah. I like Busk. I don't think he.
Yeah, but he's not speed 2 or heavy.
Yeah. Exactly. They went,
He solves both problems.
speed
Uh,
give him grit, give him rogue. It's like, and give him this ability where you can give him extra
You
dice.
can
set
give him rogue
accuracy,
next.
Yeah.
The next expansion.
No, that's a
isn't it?
rebel thing.
Only rebels. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's really.
Yeah, that one
that's,
X-wing.
is that Ghost?
That's Ghost. Yeah.
Oh right, that thing. I thought
Yeah.
that
Forward
thing.
for
It
that.
can make like some of your fighters rogue, but it's rebels only.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
That'll be a like a
broken
Rhymer standard issue, won't it?
Talking about broken stuff.
Well, no, although I think potentially that you might never see that being used because Yavaris and they do all the squad.
No, but
why would
this
you go,
would be a way of flying
hang on,
squadrons without your
hang on. I want Nim to be rogue. No, I don't. I want to double tap with him. Like, why would I do that? It's stupid.
You could make use of it because
You could use it with like X-wings or something to.
You would need the big carrier with it.
I
Yeah,
think just if you making X-wings rogue.
yeah.
I think we've gone off track. We should stop
Yeah.
speculating and possibly talk.
Yeah, should we finish up this tournament?
Which game? Which game were we even on?
So we finished my game. I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was a 9-1 win. Basically, it had the guy was. It was fairly new. He played it fairly well. Like Mon Karen tried to smash something and didn't. And that's I guess what you can expect.
That's the trouble.
And then-
He's got like a
so then he-
jousting list.
so then he- yeah, then he
Yavaris
played
is a
into-
perfect counter to a joust
into
list.
Yavaris. So I came away with a victory there. Anyway, so
Mine.
Ricky.
I believe I was against someone called Rob, who's quite new to the game again. I guess he got lucky in his first game because he must have got a 10-0.
Did he play?
See-
he might have played Sam in his first game.
I think he did, yes.
Yeah,
he played Sam.
Yeah, they're both at their first tournament. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
he 10-0'd him and then got put against me, which he didn't play wise. He didn't obviously play against the Yavaris list because he parked. I didn't remember much of what happened, but I know he put an MC30 in front of
It was all over
Yavaris.
so quickly. It all happened so
It was
fast.
just a blur of nim blue crest.
It didn't even
A blur of crits. Yeah. Oh.
I think-
Defense tokens were just flying off the board.
It was contested outpost. I think he wanted to get to it fast. He didn't have nothing big, but he got an MC30 and parked it straight in front of Yavaris on the first turn.
Wow.
So, and I think I got to fire first, if I remember right, because I remember wiping it out before it did anything. It was just gone.
An MC80.
MC30.
Okay, yeah. That's...
So that was gone, and then there wasn't really too much left to clear up, and it was just that finished fast. He lost everything. Another 10-0.
Wow.
There isn't much to say
Smooth.
about that one. It was just so quick.
Yeah.
It's just-
But again,
if
it's
you
that
fly
problem.
into-
If you haven't flown headlong into Uvaris, I think maybe we should explain if people haven't seen it before. But the main reason Ricky's list works so effectively when you charge straight at it is that the MC-80 and Uvaris both drag 6 fighters
Forward,
effectively
yeah.
with free movement. 4 from the
by one, yeah.
so 6 of them move speed 1 and don't activate, and then Uvaris can activate the fighters after it's moved. So really,
That didn't come into much play as I thought it would need to.
no, well, that's because they're running straight at you, so you don't
Oh,
need
yeah,
the
on that
extra
one.
distance.
What
Nice
it
to
does
have,
effectively
nice to
is
have.
normally in the old rules or the old wave with Yavaris, you had to fly stuff in, survive a turn, and then you could double tap. But with this, because you can drag them in,
You can move them
not
wherever
move
you
and
like.
double tap.
Well, you could potentially drag the same fighter twice.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Home 1 drags 4 fighters forwards,
Yeah.
then Yavaris drags
Yeah.
2 more of them
And it
forwards.
You've always got
Again.
your bombers.
it gets
in where
even
you
more
want them to
silly
be.
with Adar
Yeah.
Talon, who can then move a guy forward. If his guy's at the back and he hasn't
And
got into
then you can
position,
do it.
move forward and attack, unlock him, and then Yavaris is for another double double tap.
So potentially what you're looking at is 3 shots from Nim and 2 shots from 2
Two
B-Wings.
B-Wings, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 1, 2, 3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7 blue dice and
3.
Yeah, and
7
Jan just sits
7
there.
black dice,
Jan sits
all with
there
rerolls.
and stops unless
2
you've got the
rerolls.
unless you've got the raider thing. You can't fire through. You can't stop them from firing because
because Jan just gets in there. She doesn't even need to shoot. You just activate her with the MC-80.
Yeah.
to lock
Sorry, I
everything
interrupted
down.
you though. Talk about rerolls.
Oh, so you're rolling 7 black, 7 blue across 7 fighter activations, and every single one of those gets a reroll for bomber command on either dice and a reroll on the blue
Yeah.
for Torrent Fire.
And that's the crit you need for...
Exactly.
the
So
nim.
you
Nim,
basically
yeah.
you're almost guaranteed 2 to 3 damage per activation.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're looking at 14 damage on average
It's
from
killing
those
most
3
things.
fighters.
Yeah, yeah.
Which again, because you can't really use your brace is only preventing one of those damage
Yeah,
points.
go 3 to 2 or 2 to 1.
Exactly. Like,
And you never activate the Yavaris first anyway, so it's probably weakened, probably doesn't have any shields.
exactly. Probably, and you shoot.
You're just shooting.
Even
through
Yavaris
there.
gets to shoot it before the fighter's
Exactly,
activated. So
yeah,
you get those
3
3
red.
red dice off. And it doesn't matter if you manage to kill Yavaris because it's Recon.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get hit by that.
Doesn't matter
no
if you
matter
kill
what.
Nim because it's Recon.
'Cause it's
Or
Recon.
Jan because it's Recon.
Yeah, so you're guaranteed that big hitting turn no matter what, really.
You tend to be able to get it twice off before it
And
dies.
Even
Yeah.
if you cared about other squadrons, you can triple tap wedge
You can triple tap wedge, and this is also
with,
a bomber.
with Torrent Fire rerolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 18 dice, which you can reroll 3.
Bomber command.
absolutely
Bomber
rinse.
command.
All bomber
Torrent
command,
Fire,
yeah.
the
I think he's a
fighting
bomber,
coordination
it's pretty
stuff is
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
But wedge, so even if wedge survives the anti-fighter, there's no more squadrons left, he's a bomber. You
Yeah.
just
He still rolls a black
still
dice.
bomber,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
But-
you can Yavaris him if there's nothing in a good place. You just use him and
The
draw
triggers
him
crit.
to black.
See,
so.
yeah, but it's good that it's made like B-Wings and like Squadrons much
At least he's
more
brought some
viable.
things in. Yeah, like Nim you never saw Nim before really because he was too. He was
Even
powerful,
X-Wings.
but he was too unreliable for
And
his
B-Wings
effect.
were just too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, their
But
threat
now-
range was so small.
Yeah.
But now that they're moving, distance 1, distance 2,
Yeah.
range 1 for their own guns. Like, potentially their threat range. I mean, obviously you don't get the double tap if you're moving them.
Yeah.
But that's longer. That's half a distance 1 longer than the full measurement stick once you add it all up. Like,
Yeah,
I measured it out.
This is basically a foot.
Yeah.
An inch,
Well, it's
half an
technically
inch.
it's half an inch longer than red dice range.
But then you got to keep it in range of Torrent Fire. You have to keep it in range of your bomber command. You can't
do,
just
yeah.
shoot them off.
You're
at
probably not
5
using that full distance, but
Yeah.
what I mean is like the threat range from Yavaris used to be literally range 1 because
it's
where your
not,
fighters
not
were.
anymore now.
But the stuff that can get out of range of that's fast enough to get out of range. Generally, you don't need the
You don't
with all
need-
the B-Wings and like probably like Corvettes and stuff. You need 7 damage really on a Corvette, brand new Corvette to kill it. Well, maybe 8 because it will redirect twice. But
Unless Nim gets rid of that.
yeah, unless you get lucky with a crit with Nick, yeah. So you really,
Lucky.
yeah.
Two
So you
rerolls.
barely even need the rerolls. You know, with a couple of B-Wings and Nim, you could probably do a Corvette from scratch.
That's all the bombers I take anyway.
Well, even
There's no point
without
taking any
Well,
more
and the
than
X-Wings, yeah.
that. X-Wings are
And wedge.
anti-fighter, but yeah.
only the 7 or 8 bombers. Don't take any more. No.
But you're right, because like
X-Wings aren't really there for bombing, but they
they're
can.
there to stop the B-Wings dying, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
escorts probably.
And then I guess that moves us on to
Round 3, final round.
Round 3. So
your
I
favorite game of the day, was it, Chris?
Yeah, no, it was a good game because the first game I think Ian learnt a lot more than I did, and it was just a rerun of a lot of earlier wave games. The second game, I probably didn't learn a huge amount because I've used that tactic myself, and running it all in aggressively was quite whoa, like that's not what I was expecting. But I also probably wouldn't have done that. It's not something that I'm going to take that on board and absorb and take forwards or anything. But this game I did learn a huge amount, so yeah, I probably got a lot out of it. It was quite. I mean, it's disheartening, but I knew how painful Yavaris was. We've been talking about it the whole podcast, so it added.
It really dominated this tournament.
It added, but playing it with this added to my recognition of what it does and ability to counter it in future and stuff. So I guess I didn't really explain at the start. I built this 7 A-wings to sit in the arc and say, well, you can come in and you can kill me, but hopefully my 7 A-wings is going to give you just one turn, and then I'm going to clear you out with 7 A-wings with Torren Far and Jan, and I can brace all the hit. If you try and go after my A-wings, I can brace a few with Jan and so on. And I think that would have worked had I just... So he had a 12-point bid. He had 3 flotillas. One was Recon sat at the back. I think Recon, he had a comms, the 2-point comms thing that passes a token. Yeah. So Recon just passed something to whoever needs it. He had one with Leia to counter Slicer Tools, and then he had one with Bright Hope and Torren Far to get stuck in. I think the Leia one had Bomber Command actually, and the Recon one might have had Bomber Command as well for redundancy. I can't remember. And he had Torren Far and Bright Hope to sort of get stuck in and buff all the blue dice as we talked about with Yavaris. But also he had Yavaris, obviously, with the Yavaris setup. He had Admonition, which is something I've not seen in any of these lists. And for me, like the point of my list was you run away from Yavaris, and if they come in and overextend, you just clear them out with A-wings. But with Admonition, I couldn't run away because Admonition is so fast and strong. He was able to head me off. So it was really powerful. When you look at that list, you go, he's only got 2 ships that can actually shoot, and they're both small base ships.
It's relying on the fight.
Whoa! Like I was like, well, this is like no damage output in this apart from the bombers, but it was.
Well, you're quite well equipped for it with 3 Akbar assault frigates. You can really keep at arm's length and try and pound Yavaris before it gets the big hit off.
Yeah, that's the plan. That was the plan. But because he had Admonition in there,
so you'd have been better off fighting one more like rookies with an MC-80.
Absolutely, and that's what I built the list for because I knew there was I knew there was going to be a ton of that stuff. But the Admonition thing took me off balance, and I misplayed a little bit. Like I got a bit aggressive with the assault frigates, but it was because the Admonition had me off balance. So. And his Admonition setup was strange. I've not seen it before, but it was powerful. Not strange in a why would you play that way? Strange just as in I'd not seen it. It was very, very good build. It had XI7s and H9 turbo lasers, so you can just trade a damage for another
accuracy.
Yeah. So what he was doing was he'd accuracy everything.
Hang on, you can't have both those.
They're both
turbo lasers.
What did he have? I'm sure he had something.
APTs.
Yeah, maybe he had APTs and H9s. Yeah, I think that was it.
You have Torren Fire nearby.
Yeah, he had Torren Fire nearby, yeah.
There's re-rolling as well.
He had Ordnance Experts, obviously, to re-roll backs. Yeah. He definitely had APTs. Yeah, maybe he had. He definitely had something that gave you extra accuracies. And he always rolled an accuracy, so he always had 2 accuracies.
Yeah.
So he'd always lock... and because he was at short range,
did he have the Scout Frigate?
Yeah.
Oh, so he had the
quad... No, torpedo frigates.
Oh, yeah, the blue
torpedo frigate comes with a turbo laser, which is weird because it has blue dice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think he had... I can't remember what defensive tech he had on it. Maybe Lando, probably Lando, maybe well explicit. Yeah. And yeah, he managed to get into hide behind a little thing just around the corner from an obstacle, just around the corner from one of my assault frigates. Used all his evades to weather the fire from my front frigate. Then I had to go into his arc because he knew where I was totally telegraphed because I'm just flying along the side.
Yeah, you're in a conga line.
I'm completely telegraphed. He can't not know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So he was able to position it very cleverly. So I had to fly, and because he had 5 activations, I couldn't activate him. So I had to fly into, and it was just in black range for a double arc. So he managed to double arc. And because he had got the double accuracies both time, I couldn't brace or redirect either. So he just absolutely hammered one arc, and when he was getting crits through as well with the APTs because he re-rolled for the things, and he was re-rolling all the stuff he didn't like with Torren Far, re-rolling all the stuff he didn't like with all super consistent.
So you can kill an assault frigate
hammered through, and I can't remember whether he killed it that turn or whether I think he might have done that. then moved around the side of it to block me off, and then activated it first next turn and finished me off.
Right.
Something like that. But basically, he managed to kill my front assault frigate.
And was that it? Like,
Was that the Akbar? No.
No, that was I think that was the boosted comms one.
Right.
And I jumped the gun a bit. I overcommitted with my A-wings, thinking that, and it probably was the right decision, but all it did was it stopped him from killing Akbar till turn 6. So Akbar still died. Like it stopped him jumping into me. So I pinned him right down next to all his rebel transports.
Yeah.
Pinned him in, but because. And I would have managed to get away, but because admonition blocked the conga line, he also got super aggressive with Yavaris. He just dumped Yavaris in front of Akbar, like literally parked him in front.
Did he lose that?
He did, but he didn't care. So he zombie blocked me.
Because it's so cheap, isn't it? Like because with Recon, you can't not like the block will always work.
Yeah.
Because you can't kill it and get out of the way. And Yavaris with those upgrades is only like 58 points or something. Like,
it's 51 base.
He was,
but it's only 3, 2, and then how much is Yavaris itself?
3 or 4 as well, I think.
So it's like 7 points of upgrades. It's like 59 points or something. It's like, considering what it does, like if you're not killing the fighters, if you're only killing Yavaris, you're getting very few points out of it.
And he was very, very clever with it actually, because what he did was he moved Yavaris in and like rinsed Akbar with the got him down to a couple of boxes or got through quite a lot, and I was repairing and I repaired up. He got through quite a lot of stuff with the double tap Yavaris thing, moved in front. Akbar couldn't move because he was blocked off.
Yeah.
And then, even though Yavaris died, he just activated the fighters because he went first. He just activated them with a flotilla. Didn't need to double tap because he stripped all my shields off, and all he needed was one activation. His fighter setup was very similar to the ones we've discussed already, but he had Key and Farlander instead of Nim. Basically, I think he had Wedge. I think he had Dutch. He had Dutch as well.
That's who he used for Adar Talon.
I don't think he had Adar Talon.
Did he not have it?
No. But the thing with Key and Farlander we haven't talked about yet is because he re-rolls on no shields and he has Bomber Command.
And if he had 2 bomber commands, which he might have done,
he had. I can't remember if he had 2 or 1, but
potentially that's re-rolling his own dice.
Yeah.
And then you can stack them.
You can stack bomber commands.
Yeah, so you
got a really good chance of getting 4 damage off with it.
And that's what I think he did on that first turn where he stripped me down to like 2. I think he got 4 damage with the first shot from Yavaris and 3 damage with the second shot. And it was like, I'll redirect that, and I'll burn my redirect for that. But now I'm like naked with nothing, with no shields. Fine, I'll boost away. Oh no, Yavaris is in the way. Zombie Yavaris is in the way. So I mean, fair play to Yavaris.
Like he played it well.
I can't remember if I mentioned his name. It was Ryan Phillips, I think, and he played our absent friend, other Matt, in the previous round, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, a very, very good list, good player. He picked advanced gunnery, which again meant because he finished Akbar off, it was a problem
loads
for me.
Of points.
Yeah, and although I managed to, he was very smart with it. So all he ever flew into Akbar's arc was flotillas, and Akbar's not great against them because the accuracies with the reg, you got 5, and it's a 1 and 8 on 1, so you've got around about 50-ish% chance.
Sounds like you need a concentrated fire token.
It would if I played him 8 times, then one of those 8 times that I played him, it might have killed one of the flotillas.
Even if you do get 1 accuracy, let's say you get an accuracy, a blank, a double damage, and a 1 hit.
Yeah, you don't finish them off.
You don't kill them because they dodge your double hit. So you really only do 1 or 2 damage.
Once you've one, don't you?
So they have sort of calmed Akbar down quite a lot with flotillas because they're really hard to take down at long range.
Calm Demolisher down.
They do, yeah. They're very good. They're very good. They're very good fix to the meta without having to overtly just go, guys, we cocked up with Demolisher, we're going to nerf him. Or with Akbar, they don't have to nerf it. It's actually a very clever fix from
the
SFG.
flotillas actually, if you let's say you got a big slow ship that's going to be target of Demolisher, like a
use them as a shield.
You can physically you drive a flotilla behind it with a navigate token and order. You wait to see which side Demolisher's coming in at. Then the flotilla boosts around to that side and acts as like physical barrier. So the Demolisher can't even get into short range without ramming you. And if it does ram you, then it's not in short range of the ship you're trying to protect. And the Demolisher literally can't do anything about that transport. It has to just keep flying around, and you can really delay with a physical wall.
Good
Good little plan.
It's definitely changing up the
into the mind of Ben.
Using
So-
other ships.
So next time I see a big ship with a little old flotilla hiding behind it, and I'm running a demonstrator or a I'm like,
Go the other way.
I know what's happening here.
So,
Well, that's why I guess if you're moving last, it's not so much of a problem
Hmm.
yeah.
because then he has to commit that transport.
Yeah,
Sorry
one or
about
the
that
other.
before you go in. But yeah, again,
Yeah.
making the bid super crit. Bid's so important now these days. I think way more than it ever has been.
Yeah. So I had so he had advanced gunnery on his torp frigate, which was pointless because he never got two ships in range of the same arc to fire twice. But it was he said it was the only ship that
Yeah.
basically was.
I'd have been tempted if I was him,
having with it,
putting it on a transport just so to keep the victory points
Yeah, 4
down.
points.
Yeah,
Because there's a good chance you're going to kill
But-
that MC30.
yeah, true. But with admonition, because he had the evades, that he evaded my thing at
Yeah.
long range, and then he just burnt them at short range
Yeah.
to take out my double hit
I suppose
dice.
if he's always keeping it out of broadside arc,
Yeah,
then
and he was
he's pretty
redirecting,
happy.
and then he just flew around. Yeah, he just
and then
burned,
just boosted
burned
off
up
into
to
the
4,
sunset.
boosted away, job done. So I gave double points for my Akbar. I did clear out. In the end, I think he had Key and Farlander on one health, and maybe Dutch on one or two. So I cleared his, and I had about 3 or 4 A-wings left. So I won the fight battle, and I cleared most of them out, but not before Akbar and the front assault frigate were dead. So I just had Torin Far left, I think, and a couple of A-wings. It was an
Final score.
8-2, I think it was, because he got double points for Akbar's assault frigate, and then all the. I think I killed a flotilla in the end as well, because Bright Hope was just powering in. Again, he sort of had the attitude like, I know Yavaris is going to die, and I know Bright Hope's going to die, but I don't care because I'm going to kill basically
Way
everything.
more points than that's worth.
Yeah.
Just
chucking
So
it from-
Bright Hope got into close range. I got a lock, I think, with my assault frigate and just totaled him. And maybe got a couple of A-wings black dice to finish it off or something. So I got that. So I killed Yavaris, all fighters bar those two and that, and yeah, an 8-2 loss. So, but good lessons learned on Yavaris. But it was frustrating because I built that list to take on the Yavaris Joust, but not a Yavaris Joust that has admonition.
But I think thinking about it, actually, I think the one weakness of the classic Yavaris with the home one is that if the enemy chooses to not engage it properly and just tries to pick something off or just goes for the objective and just goes, oh well, I'm happy with a 6-4 or whatever. There's not a lot you can do to push the game, but with the MC30 instead of the 80, you can go and get them, and you're not relying on your opponent to give you the victory.
Or it can be in what happened to me at the other regional before when they got forced into a forced draw.
Yeah, you had to do like an agreed draw or whatever it's called.
He was just going to avoid me at all.
Intentional draw.
Yeah, intentional draw.
Yeah,
because he deployed literally the opposite corner to you and said, "I'm not coming anywhere near you."
Yeah,
you'll never make it to me.
Yeah.
It was like an Arsenal engine techie.
And he had a Clonisher
It was
list,
Raiders and Demolisher. Right. So it was just all speed 4 and 3 with engine 2.
Yeah, it's multiple small unit list.
I probably wouldn't have touched him in 6 rounds. He wasn't going to touch me. 5-5, great.
Yeah. But the thing with admonition with Recon as well, and what you can do with Yavaris, because Yavaris is speed 3, you can go after people with Yavaris.
Yeah.
You can actually block lines. You can block lines of escape with Yavaris and admonition. You can park them.
It's just so much harder because you can't slow Yavaris down once he's going fast.
No, but you don't.
You don't have the nav orders. You know.
Yeah, true. But you can. But he's got comms thing from Recon.
Oh, that's true. You can give him a token in return.
Yeah. Recon just chucks tokens out to.
But chances are he'd have chucked out of.
Yeah, you still want fighter tokens.
Token, yeah.
Yeah, but you can get a nav. You can first turn. You can get a nav or a squadron.
You'd have one
and a squadron.
But this relies on you realizing on deployment that he's going to try and stay away from you, and you've got to deploy it like speed 3.
Yeah, but I think
you always get a movement 1. You always take that as the first thing.
Oh, I know, but if you've deployed at speed 1 like you normally would, then you're using that order just to get up to speed.
Yeah, I hadn't met Ryan, but I've got the feeling that he had a set because he sort of went, take a nav, take a thing. So he always, and when Matt played him the game before, he had the nav token on Yavaris, which Matt didn't see, which is, Matt was moaning about how I would have beaten him if I saw he had the nav token and dodging. I think that was just his play. He put nav token from the command dial and a squadron order from Recon turn 1, and then every turn after that was a squadron token.
But still, if you're playing like a running battle where you're both going high speed, you need more than 1 nav token.
Yeah, but Recon can just follow behind and give it out. And you say Yavaris needs squadron tokens, but 2 shots, 2 rounds of 3 with Kian
Yeah,
and
you
the
shoot
B.
fast
There's
stuff.
not much left after that.
That's true.
Like, not a whole lot of enemy stuff left. And he had... I shut his fight... Because I had so much fighter, I managed to pretty much deal with his fighter game, apart from he had Jan, so I couldn't stop him from shooting in. But he had good anti-squadron tech as well. He had Dutch.
Yeah, and Wedge.
And I think he had Wedge as well. So, you can pull fighters apart with that pretty easy.
I think if I had to pick between the 2 lists, I prefer the 30. The one with the 30.
Oh yeah, it definitely made
It's
it.
one to try. I really do want to give that a shot.
I made some mistakes because I got a bit aggressive I tried to curl the thing too early, but because I hadn't envisaged the MC30, it was the other list that made me do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, it caught me off guard. Like, what I should have done was just deployed on the very baseline and go, well, you want to bring ammunition and you're going off the board.
Yeah.
But because I hadn't really appreciated it or seen what
Never
was
seen it
happening.
before.
Yeah, it was.
But now you know what to do.
Yeah, so like I said, I got a lot from the game, learnt a lot, and there were some good combos in there. H9s were pretty effective. I loved that on the admonition. So yeah, I got a lot out of that. So we'll go to Matt next for reasons that become clear.
Well, yeah, because we may as well explain. Ricky and I were on the top table playing for the win.
Yeah.
So
After you both smashed 2 knees.
Well, hang on.
Dream Crusher.
Right, yeah, you've beaten Dream Crusher and
They were new.
you finally got the better of Dream Crusher. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so my last game I played against a guy that was running the Rebel Admiral that I haven't really seen much at all, Garm Bell.
Garm Iblis,
man.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever used Garm.
I've used him in Wave 1 and 2 and stuff.
What does he do?
He gives
Everyone's
you-
tokens.
So on turn 1 and 5, you get command tokens of your choice
Up to your
command value. But I think turn 5, it's amazing, but you're generally all dead by then because you haven't got a proper general that does anything for you. Turn 1, it's terrible because you go, well, turn 1, I'm taking a token from my command done anyway.
Yeah.
So why the
Quite
hell
often
do I
on
need
turn 2 you're taking a token as well.
Exactly.
If you're not going straight
So why
into
the hell
enemy.
do I need it?
Yeah, it's not a huge
basi-
benefit.
If it was turn 3 and 5, he'd be usable, I
Like
think.
Tangy
but,
is.
Yeah, 3 and 5 would be usable, but like
One and
or
five.
2 and 5, but 1 and 5 is just
So he had two assault frigates. One of them was Paragon again. He had the Nebby with Salvation and a flotilla. And we played minefields. And I remember this because it was my objective that I put on just to see if anyone picked it. I hadn't really played it. I just like playing different objectives, rather than choose something normal to put there. And I'm not sure the best way to play this. So I put a line of obstacles and mines in his deployment zone. Just outside of the deployment zone. The reason being that wherever he deploys and then activates and moves, he's going to have to hit one of these mines.
How many did he hit?
None.
None.
So, or possibly one.
How many of them did you drive it to?
more than 0.
I think I might have sacrificed a zombie ship. I sacrificed a zombie ship onto a mine. Basically, turn 1, he had the speed to skim right round one of the flanks and come down one of the flanks.
Right, out the side of his deployment zone. Kind of thing.
Out the side of his deployment zones. Like, I was like, he's deploying at speed 3, facing this way. Oh yeah, so he's going to come right out of it. Surely that mine's really close, and he just
skimmed it.
Yeah. but basically it meant 2 assault frigates were coming down the side with the Salvation as well. My Yavaris went forward and the blob moved forward again. Spoilers, I won the game. I think it was a 7 or an 8. But it was surprisingly close. It was annoyingly close.
What, till the very end?
No. Well, it was.
You went 8-2. It's like
I think it was an 8 or a 7. I can't remember exactly, but I remember being annoyed that an assault frigate survived a Yavaris round on 1 health, and that was quite crucial for him being able to do some broadsides into flotillas, and he made some zombie flotillas. It was a fun game, but one of his assault frigates escaped on a little bit of health because he had just brushed the board edge with it and come round, and my MC-80 just can't turn quick enough to get him back into work. My squadron's chasing it, but by this point, Uvaris had died or was basically pointing the wrong way to actually chase him with the squadrons. It was a fun game, and
I'm trying MC-80s with engine text recently. I'm actually surprised by how much better.
I think one of my takeaways. I think is if people know what an MC-80 does, they're gonna try and stay as far away from it as possible.
Well, what usually works for me is parking in front of it, and then it can't move and it can't get its arcs in. And it's just kind of stuck there.
But if you don't do that, if it's got engine text and it's mobile,
well, that's it. It's much harder to get in front of it when it's got engine text.
But not being able to kill one of the assault frigates quick enough, basically put a flotilla in the firing line for a broadside. I think he had intel agents on his frigates, so he could intel off the scatter, basically.
Oh, well,
oh, that sucks.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use them.
Intel officers.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Intel officers. What did I?
Right, sorry, I thought you meant the gunnery team slot guys who give you an accuracy.
Oh, right.
No, I've never seen anyone use those.
But it's like
maybe now with flotillas.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I have to scatter this round to survive. And next round, he just needs to roll 4 damage, So that hurt. But then that flotilla died, and I just drove it onto a mine to just sacrifice my MC-80 didn't have to drive onto the mine.
Nice. Man, proper minesweeper.
What, so it bumped your MC-80?
Yeah, but it was already dead. It forced my MC-80 to bump. So it took the mine, forced my MC-80 to
It doesn't
bump.
take a card because it's a flotilla, and it didn't have to take the damage from it.
That's amazing.
Nice.
But
He's like,
just couldn't
poor
swing
guy.
the
but
MC-80.
Rika, the guy who's in front of the...
It's like proper Soviet mine clear strategy.
The other misplay that I had my two zombie X-wing or 2 X-wings out, 2 named X-wings out, trying to lock up as much stuff as possible. He bumped one of his own squadrons, and what I should have done is put that squadron engaging one of those X-wings. What I did was put it the opposite side, thinking, "Oh, it's not going to move or be affect me at all." But the X-wing was able. I think it might have been an A-wing or something. Was able to jump, and although it didn't tie anyone down, I think I had to shoot it with the first activation of a virus or something. It played an important role. It was like a suiciding A-wing, but that was a misstep. I won. Yeah, I was happy. I came 5th. One spot away from all the sweet stuff.
Shit. Where did you end up, Chris?
I was 6th. With 16 points, which, as I said, was my lowest ever tournament result. So.
What is that?
So then, going into the final, I had a 7 and a 10, and Ricky had 2 10s.
2 10s.
So again, 3 points up. So this is flashbacks to nationals all over again. Not only did I have to win, I had to get an 8 to actually win the tournament, which was frustrating because Ricky picked Intel Sweep.
That was a mistake.
Not realising
7-3 have done it.
No, because we would have then been drawn, and Ricky had a higher MOV than me.
Yeah. So
you had a 10 and a 7. Did you have a 9 and a 7? 10,
No,
7,
you didn't.
7
You
would have been
had 9.
24, and he'd have had 23. You'd have had 10, 10, 3.
Maybe I had a 9 and a...
Is it maybe because we didn't know?
No,
You
I had one
didn't
wrong.
know at that point in time you were playing it out of 10, not 11.
Oh, that's it. It's a different scoring. No, but I got Jim to check the points
okay,
difference.
right.
Because it was important because Ricky picked Intel Sweep by mistake, thinking that the tokens were worth 15 points each instead of whoever had the most got 75.
Yeah.
If
should read the missions.
there'd been 1 point difference, like if we'd only been like 2 points apart or whatever, I literally could have just got the tokens, fucked off, got a 7-3 and won the tournament without firing a shot. But I was forced to fight like a man, unfortunately.
What you didn't want
So
to
I had to go big or go home. There was no like swooping in, picking off something and flying
It was
off.
a close game, though. Still very close.
Yeah, I forget the details now. I know that basically the Star Destroyer was planning to go in where if we do it from my point of view, my Star Destroyer was on my right-hand side, and Yavaris was like in the middle, and then the home one was on the left-hand side.
You definitely took out the home one.
So my plan was to drive the Star Destroyer up while keeping far away from the home one, kill Yavaris, take a shitload of fighters, but because it's a multi-Star Destroyer, it limps away, and then boosts off at speed 3 to get away from the rest of the fighters now Yavaris is dead. Because killing Yavaris combined with the intel sweep would have got me the 8-2.
Yeah.
And I could have still afforded to lose my fighters and still done it. But that didn't quite go to plan.
No, you lost it.
The Star Destroyer went down in just one mega volley from the bombers.
Jeez.
So that went down.
Was that
still
from one? So what was that? That was double shots from.
I don't think it was the first
Nin.
shot from her. But yeah,
So
Nin
it'd taken some stuff from
it.
previous.
Yeah.
It lost some shields from previous turn or something.
But you lost that before I lost the MC80. But I did lose the MC80. I remember losing it.
How did you take that?
It was Demolisher.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Star
It was
Destroyer,
not
the Star Destroyer had gunnery teams, so when it killed Yavaris, it also got a good volley off against
And you were too far away.
the MC80.
Cool. And then you demolished shot and then double shot
And then I had
moved away.
I think either my Raider or my Gazanti got in front of the MC80,
Blocked it.
Yeah. So that because when the Star Destroyer went in, my Gazanti went in front of the MC80 and sliced Yavaris.
Nice. And then just put it back on again.
And then
No, it didn't.
no, because the timings. I had the last.
Yeah,
I had the
couldn't
last
do anything about
activation,
it.
so he couldn't do it.
But I still got the
Oh.
ISD out of it.
But he still but one volley was my plan was basically I go in and he can't super bomb me that turn because he's sliced. Next
Unless he
turn,
does layer first, which is a waste of an activation.
Um,
Does layer before. he does
No,
it.
no,
it
you'd already
really
done
funny.
layer
and
at that point.
It was the next round as well, and then I had to do something in a certain order that I did by mistake that just worked.
But the next
out.
round, you can, if you get sliced, you can still use layer next turn before you use your Varus.
But
if
then
you're
the
going
Star Destroyer
first,
boosts away at speed 3.
yeah, exactly.
And you can't,
So the fact you did it last is good because it means Ricky would have to waste an activation to do layer, by which time you can either kill your Varus or run away.
well, I'd already killed Yavaris.
So it already died anyway. So what was the point in slicing it?
No. Sorry, no, I'm talking shit. I hadn't killed it at that point. So yeah, the plan was I sliced it so that
He'd have to waste an
he'd have to
activation.
do layer first,
And then you
the
could
Star
shoot again
Destroyer
and
gets
run away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Star Destroyer then kills everything and flies off.
But that did
Yeah.
get killed that round after, didn't it? Because you lost the splicer.
I lost.
Because then he couldn't do any more. Because I got my
You
turn.
killed the splicer. I forget how actually, because I think just the MC80 rammed it and then shot it a bit and
I
then
think it
rammed it
was
again.
just from the dice. Yeah.
But that slowed the MC80 enough for Demolisher to come in and kill the 80. But then I think I lost Demolisher right at the end.
No, you lost the Raider right at the end. I think you were left with the Demolisher, weren't you?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I took a really gamble shot, and it was just one dice had to be right or something, and I got the Raider, and it was just.
And it ended up as a 6-4.
I think it was a 7-3, wasn't it?
3. Anyway, either way, Ricky still won the tournament.
Still won. I got the coin. You didn't win 8-2. So,
I didn't win 8-2.
Yeah, which is what you needed. So, yeah.
A loss of 7-3. Yeah. It was a good game.
27 points.
27-point win.
Wow.
It was all right. A
Smart.
massive margin of victory. I think it was near 1,000.
But I think fair kudos to Ben for being the only guy with an Imperial list, like basically anywhere near the top 8, I think. So I think like
Yeah.
the
Really,
top...
was everyone rocking? Well, it's
So
viruses.
Ricky was first with Yavaris.
Yeah. The guy you played was
the guy I
second.
played was second with Rican and Yavaris. You were third, I think.
Yeah.
Matt was fourth. He was Rebels, but he didn't have Yavaris.
And then you were fifth.
You were fifth with Yavaris.
Yeah.
And then I was
So
sixth.
three-
I was sixth with Rebels, but
It
not
was
Yavaris.
3 out of the top 5, wasn't it?
Had
Yeah.
Yavaris, yeah.
And
And
Rican.
then I don't know who was 7th and 8th, but I think, the top 6, it was only you playing Imperials. Everybody else had Rebels.
Right,
Everybody else had Tauren Farm.
This is like Nationals all over again, isn't it? Everyone was
the other
demolishing
way, yeah.
with
But it was the other way
Imperials in,
round, yeah.
Nationals, and I was the only one
the other way
rebel.
round this time, yeah.
So Riken is... Oh, not Riken. Yavaris and Riken together.
They've
They're...
Well, they always were
strong.
okay,
They're very
but
strong.
it's the FCT that makes them the
and the Bomber Commander and Torrent Fire.
Exactly, it's the
It's
consistency.
a lot
It's
of
changed up
ice.
so quick though, and if
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
wave's coming out in next month or the month
and
after,
we'll develop tactics for it, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I
trying.
don't want to cry broken
No.
because I don't feel like we've tried enough different counters to it.
And like the one that I used with the A-wings, and I thought that's okay against the traditional.
That would have
thing,
done well against the
but
MC80.
no good if you have admonition in there.
Well, maybe it's practice.
Well, maybe with practice, I I'd like to think I could have done better, but he still would have got Akbar.
Has anyone
There's
tried,
no way I could have escaped Akbar at the back.
Yavaris against TRC Corvettes?
No, I'm gonna bring that out soon.
Because that seems strong against Yavaris, because you can really keep it at arm's length, pick it apart, and then fly off before the fighters can get you.
Yeah. Well, they can, depending on how you fly, they can commit and kill one Corvette, but then they're out of position for all the others. So 100 points of fighters or 120 points of fighters just gets 51 points of Corvette and then does nothing else for the rest of the game.
It could be a mission-specific one, because I don't know if you could do enough damage with...
The trouble is, Defiance is super strong against TRC Corvettes, unless you can land in its front and back arcs. Because you don't want to land... If you land in the side arc of Defiance, you're screwed.
So if they just went along the side again and everything's coming at you...
I don't know, at long range, it's only throwing three reds at you, isn't it?
Worth a try.
And you dodge one of them. One of them's going to be a blank.
It's not going to be a big win, like we said. You need...
Well, because if you can't kill the 80, you're not going to get a big win.
Yeah. And you're not going to kill it in a squadron.
6-4,
unless you take the one that won Nova Open, the 8 YT.
Oh, the
1600s.
80
TLC
YT 2400s.
The dash ones.
The generic dashes.
The dash route,
Rogues.
Yeah,
They're
8 of
really
those.
nice.
It's not even Star Wars at that point.
No, but it's a good list. It's a good list, right? We're not talking about bringing cool Star Wars lists here, are we?
We're just talking about spending £100 on squadrons.
Yeah.
At least then you'll also have 8 fire sprays, I guess.
And trade them for
You can pick whichever side you can play a stupid list on.
Yeah.
Or you could go 8 of your transports or whatever they are on the Imperial side.
I'm glad the new fighters are broken up by Rebels and Imperials, and you get 2 of each.
Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? Yes, if you're just collecting one side. Although who really is just collecting one side? Like, honestly,
a couple of people.
Isn't your
I know someone who is.
Yeah, so I guess it's cool for that.
Because it's an expensive game.
Side. Yeah,
you're missing out on so many cards.
I mean, as it goes on, as the years go on, like an X-wing, people have started to say, "I'm only going to collect Rebels or Imperials," because there's
if you're just getting into it.
If you buy into it late, so like down the road, if you buy into it late,
I mean, we all started when the core set came out, didn't we?
Yeah,
so
we've had 6 months to rebuild our credit rating.
I was lucky that I could buy someone's collection that they were selling, so I could buy into the game and be like, well, now it's not so daunting. And then I've got all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it included one of those fancy cases, Felder cases, and then I was like, there's some empty spots for some more stuff. So
that's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
I wonder if Felder gets a backhand from Friends to Flat. Can you just put an extra slot in there?
Well, they put the extra interdictor in, didn't they? But people just weren't going to accept that. There was a campaign to put a little insert where you could put another gladiator.
So people would have 3 gladiators instead of 2 interdictors.
More people are going to have 3 gladiators than 2 interdictors.
Definitely. Although I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the double ISD, because I've only got one ISD.
Yeah,
and I'll put my interdictor in the spare ISD slot.
That's better.
I do like the double Liberty slot they got.
Yeah, because both MC80s fit.
Yeah,
the Mo's going to have 4 MC80s though.
Whoa! Don't speak too soon.
You can't afford.
But the home one is so cheap on Amazon right now. It's like 20 quid for a home one.
Yeah.
Really?
And the distributors are available.
Well, because Amazon
no one buys
fluctuates prices based on demand.
Yeah.
So, like Gladiators and Assault Frigates are still at their RRP because they're selling hotcakes. But the home one's not selling, so it's like
people buy one, and that's all you ever need. Yeah.
I picked a second one up, but I don't know. I tried with 2. I tried with 3, but it's just you don't need more than 1.
Jesus.
I still want to try it, although it's going to be even shitter now. Wave 4's out.
The
380s with Akbar and projection experts.
Oh, that's what I tried, and you
can't hold formation.
You really can stand your ground a lot.
Yeah,
but it's getting them into position. You can get in the shots, and squadrons really do. You can't afford any squadrons really.
Oh, slices just fuck you, don't they?
You won't be able to engineer on all of your ships. You've still got 2 to engineer on.
Yeah, but if they slice the one that they're shooting,
double slices. Yeah.
But then you're sending shields from the other 2.
Yeah.
But still, that's force
Well,
shield.
It's strong. You just don't. You can't take enough squadrons to cover your.
You
yourself.
can't, yeah, and you can't really protect yourself.
People
from, like,
could run away a bit as well, couldn't they?
Oh, yeah,
you can cover
you
massive
could.
arcs, but they
You
could
can't-
just intel sweep and
I
spin
think you
away.
could 4-3 with engine techs and ECMs.
You might grind out
and-
3-6-5s.
Might be in the campaign though. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
once we up the points
Three
limit.
massive-
Yeah.
Once we up the points limit, maybe
Yeah.
we'll get these.
I don't know if
ridiculous-
tournaments will ever up the points.
No, I mean
Just
the
in our fun-
campaign.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
Campaign
crazy-
games.
Didn't they say that the final battle is going to be, like
Epic.
6,000?
Yeah, 3v3.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm
You could
looking
take some
forward
really
to
wacky lists. I think.
Yeah,
So
looking forward to that.
we covered that tournament, and Ricky's taken the glory and the sweet
I took the
slave
sweet
one.
cards, yeah, that I'll never use.
it's such a nice looking card.
Could go on eBay.
You're never going to use it. It doesn't even have Boba Fett on the picture. It's like the hand thing. It's just
why is that?
it's just a small, very small Millennium Falcon in the middle of a what is that A6?
But they alternate,
card
don't
or
they? Like
something?
in X-wing, all the pilot cards are pictures of the ships, but
And
the
then-
unique
and
alternate
the
art
cards
ones
are
are
the-
pictures of the pilots.
But it's the other way around.
and in Armada, it's the other way
Yeah,
around.
yeah, fair.
Your generics are pilot pictures.
It doesn't make sense because you just
So to finish up, we'll do two lessons learned from each person. One that you weren't expecting, something you learned in a day that kind of changed your mind about something or that you weren't expecting, and one that just completely confirmed what you thought already anyway. Who wants to go first?
Well, my most recent lesson has nothing to do with the tournament.
Well, that's fine. We can have wave 3,
So I was
4,
playing a
wave
game
3, 4.
and,
things that you thought before wave 3 or 4 that have been
okay.
confirmed. When you looked at the cards before you played any games that have been confirmed,
Well, I knew
and
that-
stuff that you didn't
yeah.
really know that has surprised you about.
I mean,
wave
obviously,
3 or
we
4.
knew squadrons were going to be big, and they are.
too
Like,
big.
so that's
Too big.
that's something that we knew and is true.
because of Bomber Command and
Something that I didn't know. I don't know. Well, something
that
like
caught you out, or
something
took
that
you by
caught me out was
surprise, or
not exactly
was
what we were
more
looking for. but
powerful than you
I was playing.
thought.
I had a Liberty that was outflanking 2 Victory Star Destroyers when I played a game at the club last week, and I checked the arc so that I was just out of his front arc when I moved, but I didn't say anything. And then when it came to the following turn, after we'd done squadrons and then some more ships had activated, I was going to wait till last to activate the Liberty because why not? He can't shoot me, and then he'll move out of my way and I won't bump, so
Yeah.
it'll be fine. But then when it came to him to activate his ship, it was in arc. Something obviously maybe got nudged, or I don't know if I checked it right. For whatever reason, it was now in arc, and he got shot off and killed my damaged Liberty. And the lesson learned there really was if you're checking arcs specifically for your plan, tell your opponent when you spot something, because I didn't have a leg to stand on at that point. From his point of view, it was in arc, so I couldn't argue it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in saying, well, 20 minutes ago it wasn't.
Yeah, when you went to the loo,
Yeah.
it was definitely not in race.
So I got really frustrated with myself that
Yeah.
I'd let this ship that basically hadn't done anything
Yeah,
with
and that's
die.
particularly important with squadrons because squadrons get picked up to turn the dial and stuff.
Exactly.
So if you're definitely planning to engage or not engage,
And if you have a
to
plan in
declare
mind,
it.
there's no reason not to just say,
Yeah.
I'm moving him, he is in range of this
Yeah,
ship.
exactly.
Or he is not in... When I move here, I am not in engagement range with your squadron, so I can bomb.
Yeah.
And you just declare it when you move, and it doesn't... You're already taking the time to check it. You may as well say it. And then there's no arguments later on about things being bumped or like disagreements on millimeters of angles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it just... I just had a shit feeling for the rest of that game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his fault at all. It was my own fault. And that's something I'm going to try and do more, is just communicate what I'm doing.
It's not specifically about wave 3 and 4, but it's a good
overall.
good overall learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was basically Torrin Far is as good as we thought.
If you're taking fighters, without a doubt. If
She's
you're going light
just-
fighters, then
Yeah.
you probably don't need her for
Yeah,
7 points.
Yeah, true. Although I find like just what she does, like for Yavaris anti squadron fire, like even just for single stuff. Like I was there was a couple of games where my dice were absolutely terrible on anti squadron, but having her like helped me consistently get hits on the things, all the annoying brace tokens on the rebel fighters. I was able to get like 3 hits or two hits a turn on them with AA with the gunnery teams, and that was good.
She's still not that good if it's just ships. Though.
Yeah,
even
true.
just
Yeah,
using
yeah,
her for
true.
AA.
But
I
with-
can't-
You
with
can find a
fighters,
better
she's
spend for
just
7
like
points.
stupid.
Just-
Yeah.
The thing that I've played a list in between which has like Jan and A-Wings and YTs, they all counter. You not only get it on the shots, you get it on the counters,
as well.
and then you get it on the anti-squadron from your ship, so you can like burn squadron down super quick.
Before you know it, you've re-rolled 10 dice.
Oh,
on
it's
a turn.
nuts.
It's so good.
Insanely good.
Yeah.
And the thing I probably, not specifically Wave 3 or 4, but actually, we all used to play Admonition with Walix to get the token back.
Yeah,
I actually
you
think it's
don't
better with
need
Lando.
it. Yeah,
Admonition's so much better with Lando because Admonition is not vulnerable to getting like nitpicked away for one turn because you can chuck the tokens to burn the hit crits off the fighters, or you can chuck them to get all the nasty
just vulnerable
damage.
to taking that mega
But it is vulnerable to something like
12 damage, blam, super double hit rolls.
exactly. or XI7s.
Yeah.
But get exactly the amount of damage you need through your thing and kill you. You can just go with Lando. I'll make you reroll the double. I'll make you reroll the crit. So it covers the weakness that they're vulnerable to. So I actually think Admonition and Lando is super strong.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
It's just finding those points.
There's
always points.
But the problem is, usually with an MC30, you're going for a big bid. So it's all
It is
those
harder.
little upgrades are harder to justify.
But isn't Walix more expensive than Lando?
He is,
so it saves you a point against the
I'm not
conventional
going to argue with that. I wouldn't take a... if you've only got one MC30, you give it a title in Lando.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't think there is on the new list I put together.
Ooh,
Wait, what are you missing? The title?
It's just a
Lando?
throwaway shit, to be honest. We'll see. We'll see if it works.
As long as you have all the
Debut
experts.
on Wednesday.
Yeah, because they do add up, don't they? Because not like stock, they're like 62, 63. But once you've got them, with ordnance experts and APTs, they're like 90 plus.
Yeah,
so
it's like rivaling there.
But even more reason to put Lando on because you don't want to lose a 90-point ship to a dodgy spike roll.
Yeah.
I think it has the title. I think it has Ammunition or the other one.
And again, that's another. Foresight used to be the best.
Foresight, yeah.
Now Admonition's the best, I think, personally.
Well, yeah, if you're running the Scout frigate with Akbar, then you're probably better off with Foresight.
Yeah, true. But most people don't. Most people run
the torpedo.
Scouts, the torpedoes.
You're going to be like in black range or whatever.
Although I think we'll see more of them when the Commander Sato comes out. Sato, whatever his name is. Because you can get your APT crits from Red Range.
The guy who lost the Rebel flagship to one tie
advanced. Yeah, that guy. What a hero.
And he only had 8 A-Wings and 4 Corvettes helping him.
What a noob.
I'm sure he'll be good in the game.
Yeah.
Crossed.
Yeah. Well, I think he just needs a very specialised fleet to be good. Yeah. But most of the Admirals do, don't they?
What's your learnings, Ricky?
Read the cards.
Yeah.
Read your missions.
So what was confirmed is Riken is awesome.
Yes.
And he's your favourite.
I don't want to be my favourite. I want to use something else. But he's so strong. And I wanted that coin. I really wanted to win my first tournament. And it did. So I can't complain.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, making sure you read those missions exactly.
Read them clearly. Yeah.
You will get burned. That was 75 points left.
Like, people tend to pick the same missions. So I've probably played like 4 of those 12 missions. I've probably played dozens of times.
Yeah, and
then the rest I've probably played once or twice. Or
Yeah. Well, so the yellow ones played contested outposts
a million
contested.
times. I've only played fire lanes once.
I played fire lanes a couple of times now, but the ambush ones, played those ones
very
each,
rarely.
maybe.
I have lost bad when I played the ambush one.
Yeah.
To Chris.
The blue ones.
Was that when I nearly killed Yavaris on the first activation of the game?
Yeah, and you put a lot of hurt on the MC8.
Oh dear.
That was my first outing with the list. I wasn't wise.
Wasn't honed.
And you never played Fleet Ambush again.
I would not pick that one. Not with that list. The lessons. We've been playing it a while now. There's no... Things are just all about squadrons. That's what I really don't like about this wave at the moment.
I'm sure we can crack it. Because everyone used to say squadrons were terrible in Wave 1.
They're just so strong.
But I made squadrons work in Wave 1 and 2, so I'm convinced I can make them not work in Wave 3 and 4.
So what you're saying is that they worked before they had Bomber Command and
they did
and FCT and
well, yeah, but you had to.
You made them work before that,
you had
right?
to,
and now they've got that. You're trying to make them not work. I think it's an impossible task.
No. It just takes a different kind
I agree.
of thinking.
You can agree. You'll find a way to get round the Reek and Yavaris thing. But I don't think you won't find a way to just say squadrons are now irrelevant.
No, but no core element of the game should be irrelevant.
No.
They just have to not dominate.
Like rock, paper,
So
scissors.
you're not trying to make them. You're not
I'm
trying
not trying to make them irrelevant. I'm just trying to make them
overcome them.
Yeah.
Be able to win against them.
Be able to win against them without necessarily having to use a
loads
lot
of other
them.
ones.
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't want any part of this game to be irrelevant.
Yeah.
But then you don't... I don't want to be forced to always take squadrons. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I just want that
I
option,
think-
and at the moment, it's as far as we know, it's near impossible.
Well, I think
I tried a couple of lists, but even
Well,
so,
Matt did all right with
Matt-
no squadrons,
yeah,
didn't he? He
Matt ran
came
no squadrons.
fourth.
He
with
did.
Man,
So
and he would have beaten second place if he'd seen the nav token.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, you can't say what ifs on an earlier game,
No,
because if he'd
absolutely.
won that game, his third game would have been different.
Yeah.
yeah.
Harder opponent.
It's like me trying to claim that if Matt hadn't critted my assault frigate and
Yeah, you'd have
I'd have
won. You'd have won a world.
I would have won nationals, but that was my second game. So
You'd
if
have
I had
won
got a bigger
worlds.
win against
You'd have had
Matt,
to play
I'd
a
have
different
only got
opponent.
different opponents
Yeah.
all the way for the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
yeah, Matt took your world championship.
Yeah, you having one world title.
Am
He
I
was
gonna
set to win.
Am I going to be met with a lawyer?
I'm suing you for the cost of a flight
Yeah,
to Minnesota.
exactly. Flights,
You still would have had to win in the final, though.
flights and a hotel.
That's true, but if by transference of properties, if I
Yeah.
could beat the guy who
Ah,
won the
right,
final,
yeah,
then
of course. And
Has
it was
that
just a
been
very
played
similar
yet?
list as well.
Is it?
No,
Has it happened?
Worlds hasn't been played. No, talking about, but Ben would have qualified
Yeah,
for the top two, and then he would have still had to have won the one.
But I
the
Probably have
match.
faith that he probably.
But those top two were both the same list, and I beat that list in
Yeah.
round 5 flown by the same guy.
Yeah,
The top two, one of them was ISD Demolish. I mean, like, you could definitely beat that. Yeah.
Was it ISD?
I thought they were both MSUs.
No, I think I'm pretty sure I remember seeing on the day because I went over and had it.
There was a lot of ISD
there was an
Demolisher
ISD
lists that day.
Demolisher, and he had another activation. I can't remember what it was again, but basically
later.
he got out activated, and then the Screed gladiators came around the side and ACM'd the.
It was really interesting how he played them. Actually, those
And
three
just
Screed
dives
demolishers.
in at
Like,
the last minute.
yeah, he didn't get a shot off for like the first 3 turns of the game,
yeah.
and then
Which is getting in position.
yeah, just
moving.
manoeuvring, constantly manoeuvring, storing up tokens, and then his basically plan is to fly them in one at a time. So turn 4, Demolisher's there with the last then first, and it's off. Then turn 5, another gladiator's in to do the first then last, and then turn 6, the third gladiator that hasn't engaged yet is there to go last and first.
So you're just going for the small win. He's not even going for a
No,
big
because
win.
Demolisher goes in first, and then after that, it's still getting shots off because it's
around the other
Demolisher.
side,
Yeah.
So, Demolisher's getting like 3 good shots off that game. The other 2 are really only getting 1 big shot off each. But that's enough to get a big win. Like, because you're killing 2 big ships or 3
Yeah.
medium ships with that. And you're losing nothing. Remember, he's also got a rhymeable.
Yeah,
That's
so
flying around and
so it's
picking-
still got
So
constant
it's like
threat with
5
Rhymer
fire sprays, Dengar. That might be it. Maybe there was an advanced in there. There probably wasn't advanced.
It's just crazy that they're just self-sufficient. They can just do what they like.
Yeah. So if Demolisher doesn't quite kill something, the fireball just moves up
Mm.
and finishes the job.
And even an multi ISD taking 3 arcs from Demolisher, 2 from the next Gladiator, and 2 from the next one, and 3 turns of Rhymeable. Like,
Exactly.
it's a massive
And that
overkill.
ISD is
Massive
never going
overkill.
to kill any of those gladiators.
No.
Because it's getting medium range side shots
Yeah,
at
like
them.
2
And only
rounds or
1
something.
at each one before they're off
Yeah,
and way out of range.
Yeah. Yeah, strong list. Strong list.
Yeah, it's a strong strategy. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. It probably won't be as strong now because Slicer Tools will knock those navs out.
Yeah,
and
ain't got shit
fighters
on
are
it.
so much better.
8 Gazantes.
That's
You
the
ain't doing
dream
nothing
list.
to my 8 Gazantes. You can roll as many black crits as you like.
Yeah.
I'm just going to flip that scatter.
If you come up against a home 1 list, they're all dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
I've not seen anyone play home 1 in a while.
No, I think
No.
it could be.
I'd like
the trouble
to.
with
Do you reckon the home
is
one
other shit.
with a TRC spam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Definitely.
So
Home
all
one
your
and
TRCs
TRC,
yeah.
vets are getting accuracies on top
Yeah,
of
it'd be amazing because
folks.
normally with TRC vets, if you take the way I run them is I always take concentrate fire orders, so you get 3
3 dice out the front.
3 dice out the front, and I always blank. I always blank 2, so I flip one over. So with home 1, I just
Get an accuracy, a double,
accuracy,
and a
a double. I always get a double and 2 blanks, or a crit and 2 blanks.
Right.
So yeah, we get a double, 2 doubles and an accuracy, and yeah, that'd be awesome.
Super strong.
Lock down the evades because you're always at long range with TRC vets.
Yeah.
Lock down their evades or scatters. That home 1 would be make them seriously good. I think
Interesting.
seriously good.
Home one with engine techs.
And the problem with home,
Yeah.
the whole problem with home 1 is if you take it on a massive ship and you tool it up,
And Torrefall.
you're only really ever getting because it's other ships, not itself.
Yeah.
You're only
Yeah.
getting 1 or 2 ships
need to
out
keep
of
a
it. If you
strict
have loads of
one.
corvettes, because they're all cheap, you can get 4 or 5 accuracies a turn out of it
You want
potentially.
to
Yeah,
keep,
but I think that's
home
the-
one cheap then, don't you? You want it just bare minimum.
Yeah,
You don't
keep
want it to have
but-
Put
a
ECMs on it to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Problem with the home one title, if it was just friendly
Itself,
ship,
yeah.
If you could go on a cheaper ship,
would it
or
be
cheaper ship, yeah.
really broken?
It wouldn't be broken, but it'd be strong.
It'd be strong.
But it's expensive, isn't it?
but-
Like 8
but-
points.
It is.
They're
Yeah.
like Defiance. Is
Hang on,
strong,
I made a
so-
list.
Yeah,
The home
Defiance
one
is
list.
5 though. And that's
Yeah,
a black.
Defiance
Yeah,
is
Defiance is so
Home
strong.
one's 7 points, isn't it?
So you can have Command Cruiser with Dodonna, Home 1 and ECMs. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 TRC vets,
yeah.
Han and Dash.
Nice. And that's
Oh,
And
why are
that's-
you not taking
And
Akbar?
that gives you a 6-point bid.
You
Yeah,
missed
I
it.
Akbar's
think that-
like 16 points more than Dodonna.
You
And
don't-
then
you don't
you're not getting your
Akbar
double
with
arcs.
the-
But Dodonna becomes amazingly strong because you never kill big ships with TRCs. You always whittle them down, and you can lose
Choose
out.
the
You
crits.
can lose out when they regen. And I know people say, "Oh, you never get a good one with Dodonna and stuff." But if you pick the crits that make them, so I did it to Cook, and he would have lived, and it was an 8. It would have been I won 8-2. It would have been a 2-8 if I hadn't had Dodonna because I managed to put 2 crits on his ISD.
Like Harvest
That were,
Engineering.
they were if you move if you take your command you take a damage,
Oh,
and if you move above 1 you take a damage.
Shit.
And he had 2 damage and he was right in front of the station. he was at speed 2 I think, and he was 3 from the station, so if he'd managed to take it and get to the station he would have lived. He was too far away from it, he would have burned off. He basically he couldn't get to the station, and then I was able to get the last 2 hits with with my TRC thing, so it was literally a swing of
Wow.
6
Yeah.
points. But it's situational. But I think for the 10 points, the 10 points on your bid, the Donnas,
I'm looking forward to using it.
because TRCs as well, you can whip them to
You
a
can
crit.
choose them to be a crit. So
So once you're through the shields, you can really lay it on thick.
I think normally with TRC vets you're better off with Kraken because then you're almost
Yeah.
immortal at long range.
Yeah.
But with the home one in
But with the
there.
home one in
Yeah.
there, you can't really afford it.
I'd love to see that list. Yeah, I'd love to try that list out.
I might try that out next week.
Yeah. Cool.
You guys,
well,
yeah, fire lanes, advanced gunnery, and intel sweep. I think is
Yeah,
great
that's a good
picks for that list.
well, as we've gone through the tournaments and we're past the 2-hour mark now,
Oh, wow.
I think we'll save list theory for next episode. We'll bring some lists. We'll talk about, I can't wait to talk about the. It's not my list. It's the German national winners. The
Oh, wow.
eight
Yeah.
Gazanti list.
You're actually going to try it?
I'm going
one
to try
time?
it. Well, the trouble is, I'm not going to buy. I'm not buying that
We
because
could
I'm not
just
investing
stand
that
it. Just
amount of
use some,
money.
Rebels.
Yeah, just use
Yeah.
transport.
Do they have the same arcs?
No, but it's very similar to a Raider, I think.
Okay.
Probably use a Raider base.
Between us, if the right
sure we
people are
have
there
enough
and they're not
ships.
using it, we can make
Well,
it.
if we all
can
have
get
2
enough.
each, that's 8.
Yeah. Matt's probably got 1 or 2 as well, and there's
I
maybe
need to
some
pick up
guys down
one,
there.
so
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to definitely tear that one apart next episode, and we'll look at that
So
one.
you're going to
You
take.
But
I know you were talking about taking it with Vader, but I think
no, that
Tarkin.
was a thing.
Tarkin would be way
He is
better.
with Tarkin.
Oh.
The list that the guy at German Nationals
Yeah.
used Tarkin, and that's how I would play it.
Yeah.
I was just saying that was on the thread where that was.
Yeah.
Somebody had said try Vader with 13 with the red dice out the front,
Right.
but someone had gone, yeah, that's great if you didn't have to not get in each other's way or like
Yeah.
you didn't have to manoeuvre them. If you could line them up like a firing squad and put the target against the wall, you'd be all right. But because you've actually got to manoeuvre 13 Gazantes, and because you lose the die. And you can't,
Yeah.
so, and you just crash in, you just bump yourself to
But
death.
the thing is that German. Well, I haven't obviously seen it, but I think what made that German Nationals win.
There was only like
They didn't-
12 people there. or
They
something,
didn't
wasn't
have wave 4. They only did 3 rounds of Swiss, and he had a bye in the first round, so he played 2 games.
there? Right.
So,
Well, we'll see if I can pick it up and run with it.
next.
Yeah, next time.
Was it that small amount of number?
Yeah,
It was less than 20, I think.
This is crazy when you think how popular that summer kit was the other day. Maybe we just got quite a healthy the other week.
Yeah.
Healthy meta down
Yeah,
here.
we don't have the the regionals in Bristol.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need to save the
UFFG.
bitching segment at the end. For some reason, we don't have a regional. We've got to go to Wales.
We don't count as a
We got
region,
across the
apparently.
border. Got to pay for the bridge.
Yeah, and it's the only one within about 3 hours drive of us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one in Ireland, Scotland. I think the
two up
Northeast
north,
lost
though.
out.
They-
Yeah, the Northeast lost out.
No, they've got one in
Northwest got 2, but Northeast lost out, I think.
Because there's one in just Mansfield.
Yeah, that's It's like Middle East, Midlands East.
We can make the trip to London.
Northeast Midlands.
You're already making.
Yeah, depends what you define by northeast.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle and that sort of thing. There's probably
Newcastle's a not, but you might
2.5, 3 hours.
Scotland
to
might be
Mansfield.
closer for Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the Scotland one.
Either way,
one
they're
was.
assuming Wales is the
But which
southwest.
part?
Well, it'd be Cambridge or Edinburgh or Glasgow.
I don't think we need a geography lesson.
No.
Anyway,
We got jacked. We didn't get a regional in our area. It's not far, but it's
It kind of sucks though, because
It's
we've got a lot of players, we've got a good venue.
a lot of them wouldn't be able to make that far.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's just because of the realignment of the seasons, because we're not even there's no store champs at all. And, like, it's just straight to regionals this year, which is also a shame. But hopefully next year things will build.
Or maybe when you see the numbers for store champs, then they might. And it's probably already picked at that point. So again, Jim might be screwed out of it also.
Yeah.
cool.
A shame.
All right, are we done? Done for this week? Yeah. Right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next.